Correct here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network, here for Bowling Green State University's hockey game against the Bemidji State Beavers, their final road series of the regular season, and one of the most exciting of the rest of the season as well. Sean, how do you feel about this game between the Beavers and the Falcons here today?
Yeah, we saw these two teams a little over a month ago, two very hard-fought battles, both extending into overtime and then eventually a shootout in the last game. So both teams, I thought they looked pretty great, like I said, a little over a month and a half ago, so I'm really excited to see what they brought tonight and tomorrow.
Bemidji State sitting at 8-11-3 in the CCHA, not tied. They are in the last spot of the playoff for the Mason Cup, with Northern Michigan sitting just outside. They're really not in any danger of falling outside of the playoff, but they are in that last spot, so trying to improve their seeding every day and get away from Minnesota State, who as of right now they would play in the first round of the Mason Cup. Bowling Green, however, looking to clinch and hold on to their home playoff spot where they hold on to right now in third place. They need 10 out of their next 12 points to rise into second place above Augustana. I don't believe they can rise above Minnesota State, but Bowling Green needs to hold on to their spot right now. They sit at 11-7-4 in the CCHA, and it's going to be another CCHA battle here tonight. Earlier in the season, as Sean referenced, actually the second week of 2025, we had Bowling Green versus Bemidji State in the Slater Family Ice Arena, a 4-4 tie sent into overtime, and then an overtime winner from Ryan O'Hara, and then a 3-3 tie sent into a shootout. Bemidji State won that one. You know, Sean, it really felt like two games that Bowling Green should have been able to pull through, should have been able to get 6 wins at the end of the day, and it was just it was a lack of completion from Bowling Green, I believe, and one that they got to look to remedy here today.
Yeah, and in that overtime, in that second game on that Saturday night, we saw Christian Stover with probably one of the best sequences of saves I think I've ever seen in college hockey. You thought after that, all right, Bowling Green's going to come down here and they're going to score. Had a few opportunities after that, but unfortunately couldn't bury it, and then ended up losing in the shootout. So you got a few points there, obviously got a few points the night before, so you went out of the weekend, I think as quote-unquote a success. But now that you're now in the end game of the season, next week is your last CCHA weekend. You do want to get all those points that you can get, as you mentioned. You don't think you can get Minnesota State. You can try to get Augustana. So you got to get all the points you can get, and it starts tonight.
You do control your own destiny. You can hold on to your playoff spot. You need as many points as you can to do it. That Bemidji State series served as probably the first, I'd say, that we've seen Bowling Green's defense struggle in certain aspects of the game. One of them was with the empty net when the goalie pulled. I don't know if you remember, but a 3-on-2 at the end of the 3-2 at the end of the first game. Bowling Green allowed an empty net goal and then ended up in an overtime winner, but left a point on the table. In the second game, had a 3-0 and a 4-2 lead. Ended up giving up 2 empty net goals at the end of that game, forcing it to overtime, and then ended up leaving 2 points on the table in that. So Bowling Green, with some defensive struggles that they've kind of remedied as of the last couple games, I think that's going to be probably the most important aspect for them here today.
Yeah, I mean, that defense, like you said, it kind of was a little flustered that weekend, but, you look at the last couple games, obviously last week it was kind of more of an exhibition game, kind of get everybody on the skates against the U.S. development team, but the week before that, you played St. Thomas, you gave up 2 goals, and then you only gave 1. So you only gave up three goals that weekend, so I think your defense played much improved. You ended up losing one of those games just because your offense couldn't score, but obviously a successful weekend on the defensive side. And then a week before that, you took 2 wins against Northern Michigan, a 3-2 overtime win and a 5-2 regulation win. So again, you're really you're not giving up as many goals since we last saw them against Bemidji State. So I think the defense is a much improved unit since we last saw them against Bemidji State.
An interesting aspect of that defense as well, even though it is improved as the skaters go, as the goaltenders go, not so much. 24 saves, 3 goals allowed for Stover in the first game against Bemidji State. In the second game, 43 saves and 4 goals allowed. That's not as good a stats as he actually played. As Sean mentioned, he stood on his head in the overtime, gave Bowling Green a chance. They ended up losing in the shootout, however. But Stover played fantastic, was the reason Bowling Green stayed in that game. He is not going to play in today's game. He suffered a right leg extension, hyperextension, I believe, in his knee. Cole Moore is going to be in today with Sally Vola as the backup goaltender. Moore really has not been that great this season. He is coming off of a pretty good CCHA series against St. Thomas, which is a high-powered offense, 2.8 goals allowed on average and a .907 save percentage this season. But not having Stover in the lineup again, not even having him dressed, is a tough look for the Falcons heading through the rest of the season. Hopefully he's back for the Mason Cup.
Yeah, losing Christian Stover, I mean, that is your goalie, and it sucks to see him not be able to play. He was injured a few weeks ago. And then you kind of look at Cole Moore, kind of still trying to get his foot in the way in this 2024-25 season. Last year had a really good campaign. I mean, he sits at about 6'8", and as a goal, you don't really see that. 6'6", you don't really see that. You'd think he'd be on the line of defense, but he's still trying to find his footing, and I think this weekend is a really big step in that campaign.
3 goals allowed for Cole Moore in the series against St. Thomas. Did play against the United States development team last week, but that game really didn't have a lot of meaning to it. He did not play it that well, however. He allowed 4 goals, was replaced by Evola halfway through the game, but he's going to look to take a step forward from that performance here today against Bemidji State. Switching over to Bemidji State, an interesting aspect that I think is their defense so good last year, their goaltender so good as well. Matthias Scholl, their senior goaltender out of Hermosa Beach, California, has not had a good season this season. His worst season of his career, actually, around 2 goals allowed on average and under a 900 save percentage. Just has not been great this year, and coming off of a preseason where he was named the preseason goaltender of the year, he has just been disappointing. This defense for Bemidji State has been just the same.
Yeah, I mean, dating back to January 31st against Ferris State, that series, he gave up 5. The next day, he gave up 3. And then the next week against Michigan Tech, you did win both those games, but he still gave up 3 and then 4 in an overtime win, or in 5 in an overtime win. So you're giving up a lot of goals. Obviously, it's very offensive heavy if you do want to win those games for Bemidji State. So that's obviously going to be key. And when you got guys on the Bowling Green side of things with Brody Waters and Ryan O'Hara who can score the goal, it's going to be tough, I think, for Bemidji State to maintain that, but we have seen it before.
Bowling Green did a good job of putting the pressure on Matthias Scholl on the blue paint. Brody Waters was very effective in that game. Ryan O'Hara had a great series as well, 3 goals, 1 assist. Gustav Stjernberg had some pretty good times as well as some of the other forwards. Bowling Green, actually we'll switch over and talk right now about Bowling Green men's basketball. As Sean just told me, 68-67 Toledo on top of Bowling Green, the Battle of I-75 in Toledo. Much needed win for Bowling Green, to be completely honest. Toledo's up 1 right now with 15 seconds left to play. Fantastic performance by a couple of guys for the Falcons, a couple of guys for Toledo as well. I mean, this is just developing huge story for Bowling Green if they're able to pull this off against the top team in the MAC.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the MAC and you see only the top 8 teams go to Cleveland to compete for a MAC championship, and Bowling Green's kind of on that fringe, and you kind of look at the schedule ahead. You can't ever look ahead, but looking at the teams you do play, all right, we could, we think we can get through that. And when you have a win like this against Toledo, I mean, looking at the score, it's 68-67 in favor of Toledo. Bowling Green hasn't scored in about 2 minutes, and that you just can't have that against your rival in a game that you do need to win if you want to get put in that 7th, 8th spot to continue your season.
BG at a timeout, 20-point performances from Derek Butler and Javante Campbell. We'll move back to hockey and give you an update as soon as we have it on how that game is going to conclude before we end our pregame. But again, moving back to Bemidji State, we talked a little bit about the defense a second ago and how disappointing it's been. That offense has really been there for Bemidji State, I believe. They had a great series offensively against Michigan Tech away in Houghton 2 weeks ago. They did a fantastic job in that one. Yuri Vaisanen's a guy that I really look to in this series. 2 goals, 1 assist against Bowling Green. And the last one, Jackson Judding is another one that's huge in the face-off wheels, takes a ton of face-offs, and his line of Casper Magnuson, Noah Quinn, and himself, they take a lot of the shifts for this Bemidji State team. It looks like they've tried to spread it out with their lines a little bit more, a little bit deeper in their talent instead of condensing it down to the first 2 lines, but that's a dangerous offense for Bemidji State for sure. Yeah,
Jackson Judding, you mentioned, he's 9th in the country in face-off wins, so he's obviously going to be a force to be reckoned with tonight. And so it's obviously going to be a very interesting aspect in that game for the face-off wins. But yeah, I mean, you look at the last CCH series that Bemidji State played, 11 goals total against the team that is in that top 4. So they are hosting Michigan Tech, or Michigan Tech would be hosting a potential playoff series. So that's 11 goals against a top 4 team in your league. So that's a very good feat, in my opinion, for Bemidji State. But that was 2 weeks ago, and they haven't had any ice time since then, mostly just practice. Obviously, it was an exhibition game for Bowling Green, but you still played against some competition a week ago on Friday. Obviously well rested, but I think that is a factor, in my opinion.
The talent talent-wise, Bemidji State is a step down from the United States developmental team. However, it's going to be a more physical game, I'm sure, and certainly a more defensive game, although Bemidji State has struggled in that aspect recently. Our Pick the Sticks from the Falcon Media Sports Network: 1 point per goal, half a point per assist. The goaltender starts with 3 and loses them as the game goes on. Cole Moore, who's going to start for the Falcons, is the selection of Tyler Kavlitz, who is calling the BG men's basketball game, who we will talk about in a second. Lucas Kleinmeyer chose Ben Duran and his centership on the first line. Sean, you had an interesting pick, and I like it. I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, you got to go with Ryan O'Hara, the captain. I mean, he scored the lone goal 2 weeks ago against St. Thomas, and then scored the night before as well. I mean, he really, you mentioned a little bit before the game started, he really is your guy that is going to get you a point or two during the weekend, whether that's a goal, assist. You know, he's always going to be around, and I think Ryan O'Hara is just the safe pick in my opinion. Ryan
O'Hara for Sean Connolly, and my selection today, Brody Waters, had a pretty good game against, or a pretty good series against Bemidji State last time, had a goal and an assist. Looking for him to get a little bit more today and finally get me a win in the Pick the Stick, as I am trailing by 1 point to all of those guys. So Sean, we talked a second ago about BG men's basketball and the Battle of I-75 against Toledo. As far as I can see from the live stats, Bowling Green is up 69-68 on a layup from Javante Campbell, who's up to 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block in today's game. They're leading after a timeout taken by Toledo. I'm going to check right here in a second and see if that score is final, and it looks like it's going to be, according to Apple Sports, as well as the live stats page. It looks like an offensive rebound for Wilkins Jr. exact. I mean, that's a massive win if they just completed it in Savage Arena. I mean, that's just a massive one for Bowling Green and a big one for the team. Yeah, I mean, that's, as we mentioned, like you do need, that was a massive win for them in order to get into that top 8 in order to continue your season in Cleveland. And I mean, it really wasn't the season that you'd hope for in terms of the injuries and the losses and all that, but a win over your rival this late in the season, I mean, that's really all you need. Next thing you know, you get to Cleveland, you know, never know what can happen. Certainly the toughest opponent Bowling Green had left on the schedule. They have Ball State, who's another tough opponent, but a couple of more games that are certainly winnable, and they need almost all of them if they want the best chance at making the MAC tournament. You can go listen to the pregame show on Falcon Radio on our sister station found in bgfalconmedia.com. Recommend you go listen to Tyler Kavlitz and Artie Abrego from Savage Arena talk about what happened during that game while we take a step back from this Bowling Green Bemidji State pregame, and we'll bring you back in a few moments with starting lineups and puck drop here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Wake up and get going with the music you know and love. Early Bird Oldies broadcasts weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. and plays all the tunes you remember. Find WBGU on the bottom of the dial at 88.1 FM or streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Early Bird Oldies will put a smile on your face and make you tap your feet. And it's only on WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. On November 30th, 2024, BGSU women's basketball defeated Arkansas 79-78. The win over the SEC opponent was arguably the biggest of the Fred Shamil era in Bowling Green. Falcon Media Sports Network's Caden Knapp had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Tightly guarded by Velasco. 5 seconds on the clock. Passing out. There's a three from the far side wing. No good. It's no good. Laura Gurka gets the rebound, and the BGSU Falcons have defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks, coming back from 14 down to win 79-78. A huge team win.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
If you're already awake between 4 and 6 a.m., you may as well have a good time. Check out Early Bird Oldies, playing all the hit music of a different generation on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU. Don't forget to listen to the morning show immediately following Early Bird Oldies every weekday, right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, this is Emmy Butera with the women's soccer team, and I'm doing my favorite 4 candies. So my first one is Jolly Ranchers. My second one is Sour Patch Watermelon. My third one, probably Gummy Bears. And my fourth one, I'll go with Mentos.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Start your day with WBGU FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune in to Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Welcome back into the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Ben Korak here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network for all BGSU sports news and updates, including the recap of tonight's Battle of I-75 men's basketball game between Bowling Green and Toledo. Tune in to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter and the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel for the highlight packages and rebroadcast of that game, which was on Falcon Radio with Tyler Kavlitz and Artie Abrego just a few moments ago. We have starting lineups and puck drop in a few moments here in the Sanford Center. The team coached by Tom Saratori, the Bemidji State Beavers. Sean, why don't you walk us through their starting lineup?
Yeah, Jackson Panzer, Jared Vainison, Adam Fleming on the offensive side, and then on the defensive side, Tony Fulmer and Isa Poricki on the defensive side.
Matthias Scholl in the goal as well for Bemidji State. On the side of Bowling Green, Niedermeyer, Scardina and Emerson will start as a pretty defensive-minded starting line, I should say, for Bowling Green. That's their third line. Dalton Norris and Gustav Stjernberg, the best offensive and defensive defenseman for Bowling Green, starting as well. And Cole Moore in between the pipes for the Falcons. Bowling Green playing their first line of O'Hara, Duran, and Waters. Second line of Foe, Grant, and Zlinka. Niedermeyer, Scardina, and Emerson starting, and on the third line, and Martin, Emanen, and Fighton on the fourth line. And of any of those skaters, Sean, who do you think is going to be the most impactful today? I think I have a couple in mind for myself, but.
Yeah, I think Sternberg, in my opinion, his last time they played Bemidji State, 3 assists, 1 goal. Just clearly, dominant performance against Bemidji State. So I'm expecting a pretty big weekend from him again.
Certainly, and then that first line of forwards for Bowling Green as well, always to look out on, but they had 5 total goals and 3 total assists against Bemidji State in the last time they played Bowling Green in the Slater Family Ice Arena, so that's definitely a line to look out for as well. On the side of Bemidji State, I'd say that third line is the one that I really want to look out for. Noah Quinn is a huge end-to-end presence. Jackson Judding takes so many face-offs, you know this, and Casper Magnuson's a pretty solid left winger as well, plays bigger than he is at only 6 foot, 196. That's a pretty good line, I'd say, with the captain in the center.
Yeah, I also think another guy to look out for is the assistant captain, Eric Martin. Since we last played back in early January, he's had 5 goals and 3 assists. So he's obviously been playing really well. I think their best player since that time. So I expect him also to have a pretty big weekend.
Certainly on a hot streak. Bowling Green doing the same with their offense. A win and a loss against St. Thomas, but a pretty solid effort in the second game. 2 goals allowed by Cole Moore that you expect to win. The offense just wasn't there, and the main reason for that, Jake Seibel having the best game of his career, a senior goaltender for St. Thomas. And for the draw is Ethan Scardina and Yuri Väisänen. Väisänen, a 6-foot senior out of Espoo, Finland, loses the face-off. Scardina with a quick shot off the draw. And it's back dumped down in behind the goaltender, Matthias Scholl, a preseason goaltender of the year selection, has not had a good season. Below a .900 save percentage and around 3 goals allowed on average. Certainly not the season that he'd want in his final year with the green and white. Bemidji wearing their white jerseys, green pants, green buckets, and mitts. Bowling Green wearing their browns with the orange and white piping. Duran takes this one into the zone. O'Hara with a quick shot. Oh, posted it. That one was inches away from an early lead for Bowling Green. Passing with the shot in. Duran was in front to try and redirect it, but it was knocked away. Here's a deep shot from Wozni, and it's held onto by Matthias Scholl quickly. We've seen a couple of big chances from Bowling Green all of a sudden.
Yeah, already it's some great attacking by the Bowling Green offense. Ryan O'Hara already shooting the gun. Obviously just ripped it off the post. Almost made it a 1-0 game. Not even a minute into the game.
4 shots already. O'Hara, I mean, that one was clanking, and that was, again, like I said, inches away from a first minute 1-goal lead for Bowling Green. O'Hara, as we know, didn't have a lot of luck with goals earlier in the season. Took him until December 29th to score his first, but once he did in that game against RIT, actually a game winner, he went on a huge tear. A couple against Lake Superior State, 3 against Bemidji State as well. Cooled off a little bit against Augustana, but he's been one of the hottest players for Bowling Green this season, and certainly the best defender if I had to make a guess. It was kind of a toss-up between him and Brody Waters for a while, but I think he's kind of stretched him away later.
Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network. You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
If you're already awake between 4 and 6 a.m., you may as well have a good time. Check out Early Bird Oldies, playing all the hit music of a different generation on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU. Don't forget to listen to the morning show immediately following Early Bird Oldies every weekday right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota, Bowling Green, Bemidji State tied 0-0 through halfway through the first period, actually. 9:46 left to play in the first. Ben Korek here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network. If you want to hear Bowling Green, Falcon Media Sports Network coveries and writers and broadcasters talk about everything BGSU athletics, tune into The Swoop, which is available on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel, as well as the Zig Zone, which will take place at 4 p.m. on every Sunday. Unfortunately, there will be no hockey representative there, but they'll talk about men's basketball, women's basketball, softball, baseball that are all going on. Baseball took a 5-2 win today over University of South Carolina upstate. It was a good win for the baseball team and a big home run by Cooper McKenzie, a backup catcher who took a pinch hit there.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly some of the, I mean, when the sports overlap, spring or fall into winter and then winter into spring, you're filled with so many sports at Bowling Green, and it's just an awesome sight to see, especially when you get, towards the postseason for the basketball programs and the hockey program. So it's just a fun sight to see and a fun time to be a student.
5-2 win for BG over USC Upstate. Bowling Green with a 69-68 victory over Toledo in the second edition of the Battle of I-75 in men's basketball this season. Big win for the Falcons, who need to pretty much win at least 3 out of their last 4, if not 4 out of their last 4 to make the MAC tournament. Tall order, but the way they've been playing the last couple of games, they can certainly do it. Back to BGSU hockey. Riley Funk with the puck, but he gets it taken away by Quinn Emerson. Emerson to the left wing. He's bumped by Tony Fulmer, who completes his check on the left wing boards and turns it over to the Beavers. Now the puck in center. Niedermeyer fighting in for this one. It's cleared outside the blue line. Parker holds it in toward the blue line. His ice shot back down is intercepted by Tony Fulmer in the chest. He gloves drops, and Bemidji State will hold on to the puck. Now taking it into the offensive zone is Eric Martin. He turns it back over to BG. Now up the left wing is Max Martin. Over, crossing pass. It's on the doorstep. Oh, what a feed in. And Max Martin was just a little bit too far away and a little bit too wide of the goal there on that chance.
Just sitting on the doorstep waiting to be put in, but unfortunately Martin just missed it wide.
Was dancing on the edge, the puck was. Stjernberg down toward the goal line, using the long reach to keep the puck away from the defender, Vince Corcoran. Back behind again, Brett Foe is there. Now back down to the goal line again. Max Martin can't hold on to this one cleanly. Corcoran will dump it back down to Flameng. Flameng, the lead pass up. Those breakouts for Bemidji State are not landing, but they're really trying a lot of them. That's probably 3 or 4 breakouts already in this game, and at least 2 of them have resulted in icings.
Yeah, a lot of icings for Bemidji State. But yeah, that opportunity right there by Martin and Bowling Green, I mean, that was a puck that was just, like you said, kind of dancing right there in the blue paint. And those are always kind of the worst for defenders and goalies. Where is the puck, as they all like to say? And then, lucky for them, Bowling Green didn't know where the puck was either. So until Max Martin put it on net, but unfortunately just missed it wide.
Especially when sticks, arms, and legs are tangled up with each other. It's tough to even move to get to the puck once you see it. UG will chase this one back in their own zone. They'll be the first ones there, and it'll be icing again against Bemidji State, who will have to keep their guys on the ice as they try to get a quick change.
Yeah, yet another icing, as we just mentioned. So yeah, like you said, another Bowling Green face-off in the Bemidji State side of things.
7:34 left to play in the first period. No score, Bowling Green versus Bemidji State, although the Falcons have had 7 shots on goal to Bemidji State's 1. Certainly, by the eye test, outplayed Bemidji through this first period. Also have 11 face-off wins to 7 for the Beavers. They did not win this one, the Beavers do, but Waters completes his check and looks to get the puck to another brown jersey. Outlet pass to Adam Flameng on the right wing. He takes it up, defended by Ivan Karodiak. Beautiful defense there by the midseason signee freshman. So he takes that puck away. Bowling Green still working for it in their own zone. Will Magnuson gets it back in, but no white jerseys are there to chase. As to Waters, Waters takes a big mid-ice hit. Back-to-back hit there. Magnuson put it on Waters. He chases the puck now as Bemidji takes it into the zone on the right wing. Shot in, Colmore saved. That's only his second of the game with under 7 left to play in the first period. And even when Bemidji State's had the puck, there hasn't been a lot of high-quality chances for them. Maybe one.
I was just about to mention, I think that was their really first true shot. I think the first one kind of came on a little squibbler, and Moore just kind of gloved it. But yeah, that one was really their first true opportunity and shot on goal, as they tally up now to 2 shots. There's just under 6:50 to go here in the first period.
Judding wins the 50-50, takes it up down the right wing now as it exited outside of the zone, and the feed back in by Bemidji. BG with the puck. They'll toss this one up in the center. Zlinka will get his stick on it, so it will not be icing. He's still battling for it. Completes his check. Crossing pass. Foe was just a step late there, but that was a great play by Zlinka to even get that one close to an offensive chance. Gasper Magnuson dumps it in and gets his guys a change. Quick changes in this game for Bemidji. In the series earlier in the Slater oh, that one was bad. Almost a turnover by Stjernberg in front of his own net. Cole Moore thankfully poked it away. Riley Funk distributes it in, and it's taken away by the Bowling Green defenseman. Ethan Scardina pokes it away as well. Riley Funk wears a hit. It's still behind. Stjernberg's defensive turnover there has spawned an offensive stand for Bemidji, and it finally gets cleared outside of the zone. That one was dangerous right there, Sean.
Almost a really, really costly play by Stjernberg. He's had a pretty good game so far, getting a few opportunities on the offensive side. But yeah, could have been very costly because they got a few more opportunities after that turnover.
Certainly a rare occurrence that any Falcon defenseman turns the puck over in their own end, much less Stjernberg, who's been so defensively strong this season. Icing against the Falcons, so it'll come back down, but they got to change off before that deep shot, so they'll at least have fresh legs.
Yeah, he kind of dribbled a little bit, and then he kind of lost control right in front of the goal, and that just always a scary sight to see. And then intercepted by Bemidji State, and then a few opportunities they were able to capitalize on, or not capitalize on, but able to get them on net.
Jopi, McLean, and Lawson in the game now for Bemidji as the forwards. McLean, the centerman. Mitch Wolf and A.J. McCauley, the defenseman. Extra skating Ryan Henderson has made a couple of shifts in this game so far. That shot's high of the mark and off of a Bowling Green player. It'll be dumped back down, and Cole Moore will stop it behind the goal. On the WCHA logo that's on the ice here in the Sanford Center. Representative of Bemidji State's women's hockey team in the WCHA. Pass from Ben Duran on the left wing to the right wing at Ryan O'Hara won't connect. Another centering pass is long, and it'll be taken away by Jackson Panzer.
Threw it up at his bench right there. I believe that's what the call was. Yep, there's going to be a face-off now in the neutral zone.
Maybe trying to go off that glass between the benches. Flip it up the ice. Under 5 left to play in the first. Still no score. BG's had a couple of high-quality chances. Bemidji State's narrowing in that realm as well. Only 5 total shots and 3 shots on goal for Bemidji. 15 total shots and 7 for the Falcons, who took them a while in the season to get that shot on goal total up, but now after the turn of the new year, they've really dominated the leading team in shots on goal this season. Oh, blew a tire there after the whistle blew. I think it's going to be offsides against Bowling Green. It was Brett Foe who turned the puck over in the O-zone.
Could have been a tremendous opportunity, but unfortunately was offsides. And as you mentioned, kind of blew a tire there as he skates off to the bench.
Probably why he was so open, as he was offsides. That pass clears in. Magnuson to Magnuson. The left winger to the left defenseman. The defenseman Magnuson takes a step in there. Now Niedermeyer. The pass to the near side of Emerson. Down to the goal line. Scardina gets physical down with Tony Fulmer. Fulmer up to Magnuson. Magnuson's there up the left wing. Tries to feed it into Noah Quinn, but it goes off his back and back out to center of Bemidji. As of the last probably 5 minutes or so, Bemidji's held on to the puck the majority of the time and has still not generated too many offensive chances. 16 minutes expired through the first period, still no score. Puck pinned behind the goal of Bowling Green, out the right wing, and up to Seth Fighton. Fighton down, where's a hit from Fulmer? Back to Martin. Martin, the left winger, on the fourth line with Fighton and Emanen. Stjernberg with the puck, standing just outside the O-zone of Bowling Green. He'll flip it up, let the Falcons chase. Isa Parrott gets his stick on it and around. Eric Martin with a between the legs pass. Riley Funk wears a hit right in his chest, and he got the wind knocked out of him, I think. He goes to force that puck free as he's doubled over the bench right now. He's more for worse on that play was Riley Funk. Another centering shot, and Matthias Scholl will cover it up and freeze play on his blue paint with 11:10 left to play in the first.
Puck staying in the Bemidji State area, so Bowling Green can just get a couple more opportunities, get 10-plus shots on goal before the end of the period, they'll have most of the momentum going into the second period, even try to bury one.
Even though they've had more shots on goal, more opportunities, it seems like they haven't really got too much offense going. As odd as that is to say. Less than the last couple of games for sure, as they had a stupendous amount of offense against St. Thomas, especially in the first game. They won 4-1. The second game they did as well. They dominated offensively, but Jake Seibel was just so fantastic, and it didn't matter. McLean puts it on the outside, ducks toward the inside. McKinley falls down to the ice and gets the puck away to the brown jerseys. Ryan O'Hara with the puck, bumped down to the ice with the puck at his feet, and now it's knocked away to Vince Corcoran. Corcoran the slap up. Jopi with another one in. Ivan Korodiak on the ice now for Bowling Green, playing with Ben Wozni. Up to Grant. Grant to the outside is Linka. It's a little bit long for him, and now Grant wears a big hit. Pinned in the boards, got away by Magnuson. Foe put a hit on there, a rare full check from Brett Foe. 2:10 left to play in the first period, still no score. Magnuson the feed to the middle, and Bowling Green's defenseman is there. Korodiak is everywhere at all times, especially defensively. Get him a little bit of offense, and it's the Goose 2.0. Flipped up the ice. Trying to be dropped by Jackson Panzer, but he's hit as he was trying to complete the play. Now Weisman up. Panzer with the shot. It's on the doorstep again and knocked away by a Bowling Green skate. That was Adam Flamang who was getting deep in for Bowling Green. Tony Fulmer at the blue line. Barely keeps it inside the blue line. Flamang open ice. His shot blocked by Bowling Green. Now up. Scardina with the stick block. Chipped high in the air. Flamang still with the puck. Looks to wrap it around. He's held onto the puck a lot of this drive. He's got it again on the left wing behind the goal line. Around to Panzer. Panzer out. Wide open. Shot saved by Cole Moore as he directs it away to the left wing. Buck 15 left to play in the first period. This is the best offensive drive for Bemidji so far, maybe in the game. Flamang with another wrist shot. It's down in front. Bowling Green's got a couple of defensemen there, and they are able to clear it away to the left wing. Foe gets it outside the ice. Mitch Wolf will step up and take it back into his own defensive zone. That was a good drive for Bemidji State right there, their first real good one of the game.
Yeah, now it seems like momentum has shifted. Ever really since that turnover that Sternberg had, it seemed like the offensive side of things for Bemidji State has really been going.
Sternberg goes for a smack. Ends up turning the puck over, but doesn't catch too much of the body, so no hit there for the Goose. Fighting down to the goal line. He's tied up behind the goal. Kirkland Irie looking in there to force the puck free. He got it away. Tony Fulmer is not there to clean it up and settle the puck down. Emanen with a low angle shot out to Kirkland Irie. Irie turns it over. Now Sternberg with the slap shot. It's in front, still in front, taken away by Eric Martin. That was a chance and a half for the Falcons and a quick one, and it dissipates fast as Irie takes it up. Good move to the inside between the legs of Emanen. Kicked away. No penalty as it looked like Emanen got his stick a little bit in the skates of Kirkland Irie. He didn't fall though, and Bowling Green will hold on to this puck as time expires in the first. High offensive flurries through the end of that first period, but still no score between Bowling Green and Bemidji State through 20 minutes of play. We'll take a step back and bring you the Rick Crow First Intermission Report in a few. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
To listen to replays of recent Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts, tune in to WBGU 88.1 FM every weekday morning from midnight to 3 a.m.
You can be an essential part of the morning show's continued success on WBGU FM. The Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce offers businesses and organizations an opportunity to be an underwriter. Under the umbrella of the Chamber, you'll receive your mentions each month during either news and sports programming or feature segments. It's an affordable opportunity to be part of something unique in Wood County.
On October 26, 2024, BGSU cornerback Jordan Oladokin snagged 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, in BG's 41-26 win over rival Toledo. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus was on the call on Falcon Radio.
Minute 13 left to go. Ball picked off. Jordan Oladokin. He's got Green in front of him. Jordan Oladokin. 10, 5, touchdown Bowling Green. Ball game. 41-26. Bowling Green wins this year's edition of the Battle of I-75 up here in the Glass Bowl.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy. BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
You could listen to WBGU 88.1 FM, or you could be part of the action. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on-air, promotions, social media, music selection, and more. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM, the return to radio freedom.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back into the Stanford Center. The Rick Crow First Intermission Report, longtime BGSU hockey fan, listener of WBGU 88.1 FM, and the sponsor of the Falcon Media Sports Network's travel with BGSU hockey this season. It's the final regular season away series for Bowling Green, and hopefully if everything goes their way, they won't have to travel in the playoffs either, although the way some of the standings are, they probably will have to, but they'll be in the championship game, and we'll take it if it gets down to that point. Thank you to Rick Crow for sponsoring our travel this season. 0-0 game between Bowling Green and Bemidji State. You hear the horn right here. Sean and I were having some fun off air watching the Pee Wee hockey game that's going on the ice. We each chose a player to score. I don't know if number 1 just scored that, did he?
No, that was not number 1. I believe that was number 3 on the red. But, yeah, you picked number 7 for the green, and he buried it. He had a wide open net. And, yeah, honestly, some good hockey right there by the Pee Wee.
Yeah, it was pretty electric. Sean and I were having probably too much fun watching it a little bit. I know I got hyped when number 7 for Green scored his goal, but we saw more offense in the Pee Wee game than we saw in the actual game that's going on.
We had a little Pee Wee pick the stick, so Ben got that one right.
Yeah, I did.
Hopefully, we see some scoring by your guy Brody Waters in the second period.
Yeah, hopefully the Green team is more like Bowling Green because, as I mentioned, the Falcons and the Beavers tied 0-0 through one period of play. Although Bowling Green's had more chances, they didn't seem like they could get too much offense going. And then they had that late turnover, own end turnover by Sternberg, kind of switched momentum very quickly for Bemidji.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green kind of dominated at least the offensive side for about 2/3, and then, like you said, that Sternberg turnover really made, I think, the momentum shift all the way to Bemidji State's side. And they, with about 10 minutes to go, I think they had 2 shots, and they ended up with 5. So it's a 9-5 differential with the point or shots on goal in Bowling Green's favor. But it seemed like Bowling Green just couldn't really get anything going offensively in prime opportunities. Yeah, they got some shots on goals, but it never felt like they had any grade A opportunities that would go their way. I mean, obviously some of those are going to fall eventually, but I was expecting maybe a little more offense once we saw. I mean, they went out to about a 7-1 shots on goal differential in the first 6 minutes, I would say, and then after that it was a little dead.
A lot of quick chances for Bowling Green, I would say. Not a lot of sustained pressure that they were able to put on. Although Bemidji State late had probably the best offensive drive that either team had in that first period. Probably a good minute of puck possession that they rotated it around, put some pretty good shots on Colmore. A couple of them missed the net, so didn't register as shots on goal, but they're up to 23 total shots. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong stats page. Actually, this is the women's Bemidji State, which is losing 6-1 to Wisconsin. Now it just switches back. 9 shots to 5 shots on goal for Bemidji State, 19-9 for Bowling Green. So BG is higher in that department. Their shots taken from majority of the right wing, high on the left wing as well, not spreading them out, or condensing them, I should say, as much as they have in previous weeks, especially against St. Thomas. They did a very good job of that. But, the shot total has been promising for Bowling Green, especially on the cleanup opportunities. Haven't seen a whole lot yet, but that's an area of Bowling Green's game that has been very strong for them so far this season.
Yeah, and I think a lot of majority of those shots, I think about 3 or 4 of them came on that early power play that I don't think really was noted. I didn't even see him in the box until about 1:30 to go in that power play. And like I mentioned, you don't really see that by Bemidji State. So when you do go on the power play for Bowling Green against Bemidji State, you got to capitalize. You're really not going to get as many opportunities as you might in a weekend when you do play Bemidji State, as they lead the CCHA in the least amount of penalty minutes with 86 or 88 now after that 2-minute.
Yeah, the 2-minute penalty actually started with 56 seconds expired in the first period, ended with 2:56. So it's a full penalty kill for Bemidji State, which has been pretty good this season, just below 800 on the season. Only 1 shot on goal for Bowling Green during that time, and a couple of real nice icing plays by Bemidji State. They possessed the puck a little bit, and it was a clinical penalty kill for Bemidji, who, we've seen it in this period. We saw it against Bowling Green earlier, and we've seen it all season. They have a winning record against the top 4 teams in the CCHA right now, and that's just just very impressive stuff from Bemidji. And for the team that's second to last in the CCHA, you wouldn't expect them to be hanging with Bowling Green, who frankly put a smacking on St. Thomas. They put a smacking on Lake Superior State, who's higher than them. Did pretty well against Ferris State as well in one of the games. I mean, this is impressive display from Bemidji State so far, and they're probably a better team than their record shows and their standing in the CCHA shows.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. Obviously, the last team out, unfortunately, doesn't get to compete in that 8 tournament style with the CCHA at the end for the postseason, and they're sitting at the 8th spot. Highly unlikely that they won't be in that because Northern Michigan, all but mathematically eliminated. So we'll more than likely be seeing Bemidji State in the postseason for the CCHA. But you look at it 2 weeks ago, they swept Michigan Tech, a team that is in that top 4. So they're playing good hockey right now. Obviously, I don't know how much that week off is going to affect them. But yeah, I mean, they are playing pretty good hockey right now, and they're hanging with a top 3 team in the CCHA.
A little bit of a slow start for Bemidji State, certainly a slow start for Bowling Green as related to the last couple of games that they've played. We'll switch over into around the CCHA portion of our Rick Crow first intermission report. We'll We'll start with Minnesota State, Lake Superior State. For those of you at home that may not have a look at the standings, I suggest you go take a look. Lake Superior State and St. Thomas are the two teams Bowling Green needs to essentially lose the rest of the season for them to be able to clinch that home playoff. They're the two teams that are outside looking in on Michigan Tech and Bowling Green at the 3 and the 4 spot in the home playoff. Minnesota State and Augustana have already clinched that home playoff spot. It's going to be a tall order for BG or Michigan Tech to climb in the standings, but they control their own destiny, and they got to hope that Lake Superior State and St. Thomas don't mount a massive comeback with Bowling Green losing. That being said, Minnesota State is leading 3-0 on Lake Superior State in Sault Ste. Marie. Josh Grohl, Brian Carabas each scored goals. Carabas actually scored 2 and 1 in each period. 14 minutes left to play in the third, and it looks like the Mavericks are going to come away with a win against Lake Superior State, which is pretty big for Bowling Green especially.
Yeah, and like you said, you mentioned Bowling Green does control their own destiny, and yeah, they can control or they can host for a CCHA postseason series, but that's something that Coach Dennis Williams isn't really worried about. I think in his press conference this past weekend, he didn't even know that was a thing. His quote was, "I didn't even know that was a thing. I've said this since day one. Just focus on us. You control your own destiny, essentially." And you know, yeah, obviously it'd be a plus, and I'm sure that he'd be grateful for the opportunity to host a series in front of the great fans of Bowling Green on your home ice, but that's something he really isn't worried about until the time comes.
Especially since you are in the same situation now that you were in last year at around this time, where you had 4 games left to play. You were on a winning streak. You were feeling really good. Last year you went on a 4-game losing streak, lost in the first 2 games that you played in the Mason Cup playoffs, dropped out of that home playoff as well. You're in a similar situation now, and you need to win a couple of games and hold on to that home playoff that you haven't had since 2022-23, and which you played Ferris State. Last year played Michigan Tech. Michigan Tech currently leading 5-1 over Ferris State in Houghton. They had back-to-back Houghton series with Ferris State and Bemidji State 2 weeks ago. Alex Nordstrom has a hat trick. He had a shorty, a power play goal, and an even-strength goal. Max Koskopirti had a pretty good day as well with the goal and an assist, but it looks like Nordstrom's probably going to get a Forward of the Week nomination, even if he doesn't really do a whole lot tomorrow. But a 5-1 pretty much win over Ferris State as of right now. 14:30 left to play in the third period in Houghton. And then St. Thomas leads Northern Michigan 2-1 right now. Grant Doctor, Matthew Gleason, the 2 goals by St. Thomas with about 14 minutes left to play in that game. So Lake Superior State looks like they're going to be handed a loss. St. Thomas looks like they're going to complete a win. Michigan Tech looks like they're going to be completing a win as well. And Bowling Green's got to be able to complete their own win to make sure that they stay ahead of Michigan Tech and St. Thomas in the standings. So we'll take a step back from our Rick Crow first intermission report. When we bring you back, it'll be the second frame of action here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Women's Golf heads to Arizona for the WMU Rio Verde Collegiate Invitational from Friday, February 21st through Sunday, February 23rd. Falcon Media Sports Network's Coyle Withrow will have a recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
And ice it all the way back down. Minute 15 left to play. Forecheck by Niedermeyer, who skated all the way in next to Matthias Scholl. Didn't put a hit on him, though, as you don't want to start that much in the CCHA. Now back around. Wozni tries to dump it. Adam Fleming pins it up against the boards and holds it in. Perrick at the blue line. Down to the right wing. Now Bemidji State starting to set it up on the right wing blue line. Now across to the other point. Now back to the point at Perrick. Perrick across to his line mate. It's Corcoran now down. Adam Fleming with a shot wide right of the goal. He dropped down to the knee to put that shot on. Jaden Grant wanted a penalty. Another shot in. Rebound chance. Cole Moore's in front, and he nabs it up on the doorstep with 37 seconds left to play in the power play. A couple of good chances there from Bemidji State, but none of them fall through.
Yeah, and it looks like Bowling Green's a little, seems like they're not in sync right now. I think they're a little just taken back by the penalty on Emerson, but Grant kind of gave up on that play, allowing another shot and almost allowing a goal. I mean, I get you can complain about a penalty that, like we both said, we didn't necessarily agree with, but you still got to finish out and play.
the goal line. Now back up to the point. Corcoran with the puck to Martin. Eric Martin down to the goal line again. Crosses it back. Good backdoor pass and shot. Noah Quinn scores the first goal of the game. And it's a 1-0 Bemidji State lead on offensive penalty.
Yeah, just unfortunate. And there goes the teddy bears. It was the teddy bear toss, and of course this is probably going to take a few seconds to clear off the ice. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that you don't agree with the call, but at the end of the day, it happened. You can't overturn it. Kind of just got to play your own game after that. And like I said, it seemed like they really weren't in sync on the penalty kill. Like I mentioned, Grant kind of gave up on a play, allowing another shot by Bemidji State. And then after that face-off, that's when the goal happened for Bemidji State, giving themselves the lead. So Bemidji State capitalizing on a penalty that...
Definitely not the best penalty kill for Bowling Green. They had a pretty good one early, but I don't know what Grant was doing on that one play where he kind of gave up, trying to sell the call maybe a little bit, understandably.
I mean, I guess...
Also, a fantastic pass across the nose of Cole Moore to the back door. There was nothing he could have done on that. They changed his direction, his eyesight too much.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Cole Moore, obviously, stop everything in front of you. That's, number one thing of a goalie. But, I mean, you don't want to put blame on anybody. But, the defense could have played a little faster and a little better there on that penalty kill to get themselves in a position to kill the penalty and kill the 2 minutes. But unfortunately, that just wasn't in the cards for Bowling Green. And now it's 1-0. You still are in favor of the shots, but you got to get something going on offense. And like I said, you don't agree with the call, but you still got to play. You can complain about a call you want, but never let that be a factor in why you give up or any of that. Who knows? Maybe the refs will give Bowling Green one back and get themselves on the power play. I mean, it seems like refs do that. As much as that sounds weird, but a call that maybe not would have been called will be called for Bowling Green.
Maybe the hockey gods
even
will
it
step
out.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
And
hockey
give
gods.
them one back.
The gods are real, and any sport.
I'm never one to argue. Actually, quite the opposite, that the referee is always right. But in that case, there was no penalty on that play. It was unfortunate. Make up for maybe something early this season.
Same thing goes for customer is always right. That may not always be the case, but you always gotta emphasize it.
Noah Quinn's 4th goal of the season. Eric Martin and Riley Funk at their 11th and their 13th assist as well. Riley Funk takes the Falcon down to the ice, forces the puck free to Corcoran, who steps in down to the goal line to make this play. He gets it away. Bowling Green takes it away. Down the ice is Ryan O'Hara. The pass is off the stick and back into the Bowling Green defensive zone. Parker will take the puck. He had his defensive partner on the other side, McKinley, but didn't find him. Now he finally does, and McKinley takes it up the right wing with pressure from Panzer. Out to Waters. Waters is pushed down to the ice. Behind to Duran. Duran's been a little bit absent in this game. Waters is still down on the ice. His whistle is blown dead. And I think that's Brody Waters that's down there.
I believe that is Brody Waters as well.
Trainer's down there on the ice. Not the part of the season that you want to see stuff like this, especially with Stove already out. Waters still not up, kind of writhing down there on the right wing boards of the offensive zone.
I think he got hit. I mean, he stumbled in when he was getting to the blue line. He stumbled off a little bit after getting hit, and then I think he got hit not directly towards him, but I think towards his neck area, which caused him to still stay on the ground.
Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
Yeah.
Has to take a second.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Get him back up on his feet. Maybe even take the night off, but you don't want to risk him getting hurt for the future of this team. He is one of your offensive guys that, if he's hurt or out or can't play, I mean, that's a huge loss, and it changes the team, in my opinion.
Don't know that it's going to be a leg problem because he is skating off himself. He is holding his arm in an odd manner, which is not good in that regard. But he will skate off to the bench, not out to the tunnel. Could be a good sign there, depending on what the outlook is on him, but he's still kind of doubled over in the bench there. So the Falcons back out on the ice with their mixed up lines. Foe will play with O'Hara and Duran now. And Willie will have to do some changing and scrambling of these lines to try and get him back to normal. Johannes Lückeberg, who was listed as a possible extra skater before the game started, was replaced by Ivan Karodiak. But now I'm sure Willie would have rather had Lückeberg as a center in there. Now a breakaway. Shot by Bemidji State goes wide right of the goal. That was a good chance from Bemidji, who struck all the way down in the zone. Panzer with that shot. Zlinka puts on a hit. Foe into the zone now. Couple of momentum killers for Bowling Green. A bad penalty that they took as questionable to say the least. Then a goal scored on a great play by Bemidji State. Now an injury to Brody Waters as he's still on the bench being attended to. Off the half wall, Flameng will duck in with Karodiak, but Karodiak will be the first there, so it'll be whistled off for an icing. With 16:28 left to play in the second, and a 1-0 Bemidji State lead.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you hate seeing this whole period already, about 4 minutes in, power play that you got to kill off that necessarily you shouldn't have had, but then you give up a goal, and then you have one of your top offensive guys in Brody Waters go off, getting checked at, like you said, still on the bench, so that's at least a good sign, but you still got to play. It seems like they're out of sync, a little slow, trying to get that one call back, but you can't do that. You still got to play your game. You still got to, capitalize when you can capitalize, but it seems like they're a bit out of sync in the second period.
Flameng makes a good move. Centering pass hits the skates of a Falcon, as there was 5 grouped there playing defense. Their defense has still been pretty strong, even on that power play. It was just a great play by Bemidji State, who's got a .244 power play in the CCHA, one of the top ones. McKinley was knocked down to the ice. He wasn't yet playing the puck, but it was close enough to him that wasn't going to be a penalty. Back around as A.J. McCauley was playing that puck, flipped up the ice, fighting up. Jackson Judding will leave it to his line mate, Adam Flameng. And now back down to the Falcon end. Dalton Norris will hold on to the puck. Junior alternate captain. Haven't said his name a lot in this game. Scardina with the pass across to Woz. Wozni down back to the blue line. Shot in. Oh, deflected in front. Scardina was there battling on the blue paint. He'll ice it back around to O'Hara on the other side as Quinn battles for it on the boards. Now Duran. Duran back down to Wozni. Wozni avoids a hit, gets the puck away. O'Hara on the right wing. Now back out to the blue line. Across to Parker. Parker, slap shot, deflected in and a score! Ben Duran with the goal ties the game up at 1 on the shot in by Eric Parker. That's a big one to take back if you're Bowling Green.
Much needed, and much needed in a timely manner, too. I mean, that's about 2 minutes after the goal that they gave up. Obviously, the Brody Waters injury didn't help, but, as I said, you still got to play the game. Obviously some of the calls, some of the, situation that, you don't necessarily want and agree with, but you still got to play your game, and right there you just tied up the game in a much-needed scenario and situation. So it's now a 1-1 game, and it's a whole new game, in my opinion.
Brody Waters still being attended to on the bench, but Bowling Green gets a goal as per his specialty and cleaning up one on a shot in front of the blue paint. Flipping this one up the ice are the Falcons, chasing it in the neutral zone, and it's Quinn Emerson who dumps it up the ice. Corcoran puts a cursory hit on him. Magnuson rings it back around. Bowling Green gets a fresh set of guys. Punching it down to the ice is McKinley. He drops it again. Dumps it back into the offensive zone. BG looking to hold on to possession as cleanly and as often as they did in the first period. And they'll get a chance at possession back here as it'll be an icing and a face-off in the offensive zone of the Falcons.
Just a big goal by Ben Duran, a 7th of the year. Gets Bowling Green on the board in a much-needed time.
Ryan O'Hara with his 18th assist of the season. Eric Parker with his 7th. And Ben Duran with his 7th goal of the season. Now up to 7 goals, 9 assists, and 16 total points. A sneaky amount of points for Ben Duran this season. Kind of overshadowed by Waters and O'Hara on that first line. But
O'Hara helping me
there
with
as well.
Pick the stick, so of course I appreciate
does.
that. I know it's not as many points as a goal, and obviously something that he majors in on the offensive side, but still helps me out with pick the stick. So
Tyler Kavelitz with Cole Moore leads with 2 points. Lucas Kleinmeyer with Ben Duran leads with 1. Sean, you have a half a point for Ryan O'Hara, and my outlook's not looking good considering that Brody Waters is currently on the bench being evaluated for some kind of injury. Forced down to the ice. Good centering pass. Irie with a shot and a good save as it barely glanced off of the shoulder of Cole Moore. Ryan O'Hara was skating down deep, and the pass couldn't connect with him. It was a good play by Bemidji State to break that up. Issa Perik takes a step in. Slap shot, very low angle, and it's up into the netting. I don't know what that slap shot was.
Yeah,
He was almost
not,
at the boards on the red line.
Not necessarily the best area for a slap shot, but hey, anything you can get on net, anything can happen. So, but yes, not necessarily the best area, but it appears that Brody Waters is back onto the bench area. He was off to the side a little bit getting attended to by the trainer, but he is back onto the bench and near the end, which is a good sign, meaning we might see him back on the ice. So I think he just, like you said, got the wind taken out of him.
Maybe a limited shift kind of thing for the rest of the game, hoping that he's okay long term. Riley Funk, a deflection in on cue. Funk with the shot in. Kirkland Irie cleans it up. Bemidji State takes a 2-1 lead. Funk with another great pass. He had one on the first goal in this game. Kirkland Irie in there to clean it up. Another one that Cole Moore really didn't have a whole lot of chance for.
Yeah, I mean, that was very similar to Bowling Green's goal, where it was just kind of not necessarily the most powerful shot, but it deflected at the right time to get in the back of the net. And Irie now with his 10th goal of the season, I believe that ties now Eric Martin for most on the team. So, I mean, you got two now double-digit scores for Bemidji State and Eric Martin and Irie. So, I mean, we're now seeing scoring. I mean, that's 3 goals in about the last 4 minutes of play. So, I mean, we asked for some scoring and offense, and we got some, Ben.
One more for Bemidji State than Bowling Green on the most recent goal by Kirkland Irie. Again, Cole Moore not with a whole lot he could have done on that play. It was just a good offensive play. Now here's a chance by Passanen. His shot in is just high of the goal. Back out to the blue line. Passanen holds it in. Down to Martin. Martin on the right wing. Across to Passanen. Slap shot wide left of the goal. It goes off of the skate of Scholl on the ricochet off the half wall. Now on the left wing, out to Passanen again. He takes a step in toward the red line, now all the way back down. Crosses in front. Bemidji State's defensemen are there to push it toward the goaltender. A couple of shoves going on in front of Matthias Scholl into the right of the blue paint. Under 13 left to play in the second period, 2-1 Bemidji. They need to face off in the O-zone for Bowling Green.
A little bit of a fumble there by Scholl, which I think caused why Bowling Green wanted to attack on that after they thought the play was dead, see the puck. I mean, that's what you're asked to do, which caused a little bit of the chippiness. We haven't really seen too much after the play, or after the whistle, rather, tonight. I mean, that's what we saw last time these two teams met. Friday night was kind of clean, not necessarily the most chippiness, but Saturday it seemed like those guys, kind of got to know each other familiar, and then, that's where I believe the chippiness came.
Quick slap shot, still on the doorstep. Scardino was a step late to try and clean that one up. It was O'Hara that was playing the janitor in front of the blue paint. Kept in by Bowling Green, slap across. Scardino was wide open in the slot, but the puck was tipped and couldn't get there. Norris to Parker. Parker with a slap shot, just wide right of the goal. BG with some pretty good high-quality shots in. That's going to be a penalty against Bemidji as they get a stick on this one. I believe it's... Who is that? Yuri Vizinen that's going to go off, the alternate captain. And he got a low hit on Ryan O'Hara, who took a step to get up.
Yeah, so now Bowling Green is now going to have the opportunity. I mean, ever since they scored.
This is a huge opportunity for BG. With the power play, the 5-on-4. Cross-checking against Vizinen, and Waters is back out on the ice.
Yep, Waters is back out on the ice for the power play unit. So, yeah, I mean, this is a huge opportunity. I know they let one in, making it 2-1, but it felt like ever since Bowling Green scored, they've had a lot of opportunities since then to tie it up, but now here's your prime opportunity. Again, you got to capitalize on these power plays when Bemidji State allows you to be on the power play. 9
power play goals this season for Brody Waters, one of the leaders in the CCHA and the NCAA. Stjernberg across to the right wing. That's Norris. Norris back to Stjernberg at the point to O'Hara. Now O'Hara in the middle. Stjernberg on the left. Norris on the right. Norris on the right wing. Now to Stjernberg. Stjernberg, wrist shot deflected up in the air. Stjernberg takes it away. Back out to O'Hara. O'Hara playing the point guard, distributing the puck. Back out to the point again. Now to Norris. Norris back to O'Hara in the middle, just dumping it between those 3 guys. His shot in. O'Hara's, I should say, is out. Stjernberg's pass is a little bit telegraphed. Irie gets a stick on it and ices it back down with 45 seconds expired in the power play for Bowling Green. Norris and Stjernberg will probably stay out there for this entire power play. As I say that, actually, they skate off. At least Norris does. Now Stjernberg does as well. Martin dump up. Emanen on the power play. A rare power play for him. We're going to get a whistle. We might get too many men on the ice for BG. Willie is getting a talk with the referee. See what the call is. They did blow the play dead. With 55 seconds left to play in the power play, 11:20 left to play in the second period. Bemidji stayed with the 2-1 lead. Referees just might have blown the whistle prematurely there.
Maybe they saw something and then realized that they may have just blown the whistle, like you said, prematurely, but I guess we'll see something.
Bemidji State, too many men on the ice. So Yuri Vaisanen's already in the box.
So now we're going to get a 5-on-3.
This is, I mean, you could not wrap up and send Bowling Green a bigger present than this.
This is presented to you on a silver platter. Ball's on the tee, you just got to hit it here for Bowling Green. I mean,
see if they put out 5 forwards. They're going to have Norris and 4 forwards out. And it's going to be Noah Quinn. It's going to head off for 2. So you're going to have 55 seconds of 5-on-3 and then 1 minute and 5 seconds of 5-on-4.
Already some good opportunities, though, for Bowling Green on this power play. So, I mean, if you can just continue to do that, you're going to get the space.
And 1 shot on goal, 3 shots total in this power play. And they've moved the puck very well, as they always do on the power play. O'Hara playing the right wing, Norris playing the center, and Duran on the left. Duran takes a step toward the center. Pass down, back to Duran on the high wheel. On the left wheel. Now to the middle and Norris. To O'Hara. O'Hara to Norris. Norris takes a step in. O'Hara gets screened by Norris. Now to Duran. Duran slap shot. Score for Ben Duran. That's 2 on the pass from Ryan O'Hara. Bowling Green ties it up and is still on the power play.
Just a much-needed goal. As we mentioned, I mean, it's literally right there. You just really have to take it. You had about 55 seconds on the 5-on-3, and now you have about 1 minute 33 now on the man advantage still. I mean, when you get on those 5-on-3s, you really just have to capitalize. And, yeah, that's a second of the game for Duran. You know, you kind of waited for that first shot. You know, they were kind of playing around with the puck, waiting for that perfect shot, and they got it by Ben Duran. So now it's a 2-2 game, still with the man advantage in Bowling Green's favor. So, I mean, we've gotten all the offense we've needed in this first 10 minutes.
I know, we got to be careful what we're wishing for from here on out. Still 1 minute 30 of power play, so there's still enough time to get another one.
And still 10 minutes and 53 seconds in the second period. So, I mean, we've gotten a, you know, kind of a slow first period into a fast second period. So, I'm wondering what this third period is going to look like. But that's not until another 10 minutes and 53 seconds away. So, but again, just some great puck movement. And I mean, I noticed it on the first man advantage, just the puck handling. You know, there could have been some times where they mishandled it, right, and then it just goes right into Bemidji State's area. They can clear it down, but Bowling Green was able to handle the puck really, really well on those power plays and advantages, and they were able to capitalize there. So hopefully they can capitalize here again.
19 assists on the season for Ryan O'Hara, 13 for Dalton Norris, and Ben Duran with 2 goals in this game, both goals for Bowling Green. He's been the difference, and that's his 7th and his 8th of the season. Slapped high in the air and into the bench, and perfect timing as we'll take a step back for a quick legal ID. You're listening to BGSU Hockey.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Period. 1 minute 15 left to play in the power play for BG. 5-on-4 for the Falcons. Scored a power play goal by Ben Duran a little bit ago on a slap shot from pretty deep out. He scored one on a redirected front. He scored one on a slap shot now. And he had a little bit of a quiet streak there for a while, goal scoring wise. We've seen a pretty good display from him so far.
And all it takes is one, and And then he was able to bury another. We might see a few more by him tomorrow, but, I mean, that's all you need, like I said. Just one, get you going, and he's going to do that at the right time as we end to the end of the season. So
first line still out there for Bowling Green. I'm sorry, not out there for Bowling Green anymore. Under a minute left to play in the power play, though. They got a different unit. Another deflection in front. Scholl is taken away. Foe takes the puck away now. Right wing, slap shot, and is blocked by Tony Fulmer. And Bemidji State will come up with the puck. Turns it over in center. That was Foe that stepped up into this play. Foe's pretty good on the power play, and even strength in penalty kill. Not good on the penalty kill. Even strength, he's got his uses. As this one's dumped back down to behind. Cole Moore will have to step out and stop this one. 30 seconds left to play in the power play. How big would it be if they got a goal here and took a 3-2 lead over Bemidji State after falling down 2-1 only 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, still have yet to hold a lead in this game. So once you get that first lead, who knows what can come after that. But yeah, it would be huge if they were able to capitalize in this next 10 seconds on the man advantage.
Up to Norris at the point, down to O'Hara. O'Hara into the slot. Waters will take a step toward the far side to try and clean this up. And now Bemidji State with a breakaway. It's Eric Martin down the right side, moved to the inside, poked away, and now back to full strength. So a minute and 33 penalty kill for Bemidji State. That's their second, but they allowed a power play goal on the first penalty by Yuri Väisänen. And the 5-on-3 for the Falcons. Clutch time goal for Ben Duran, his second of the game. Only 2 for BG. It's tied at 2 with under 9 minutes left to play in the second period. We're going to get it offsides against Bemidji State. We're going to get a icing, actually. Thought he got a stick on it in center, but apparently he didn't. 15 shots on goal for Bowling Green now, 11 for Bemidji State, who's probably beating Bowling Green in that department since about the first 6-7 minutes of the game. But a lot of them coming on the power play for BG. Fleming gloves and drops. It was a good play, kind of a very athletic play to even get a glove on that one as the high pass was behind him. Panzer working in there with Fleming as well. Falcons get it away. Yuri Väisänen with the puck on the left wing. Tips it over into center. Henderson knocks it back down, an extra skating defenseman. And a freshman out of Lethbridge, Alberta. Väisänen again on the left wing now. His shot in, saved by Cole Moore, who knocks it high into the glass behind the net. Fleming deking with the cage there. Väisänen again takes it back around on the left wing. Leaves it back down. Another one in front. Fleming was pushed down on the crease by Ben Wozni.
Fans wanted something, but
yeah,
they're not going to get that. I didn't think there was anything.
Woz is there again. McKinley takes it away. Bemidji State's holding on a pretty good puck possession here in this drive, although they haven't gotten a true shot on goal yet. Duran around. Emerson. It'll be cleared outside the zone by Bowling Green. They'll have to reset. Jake McLean is the first one in. Jopi back down. It is Lawson, Dante Lawson. It's in there now for the Falcons. Emerson with the puck. Backhand out to Wozni. Wozni, good pass to Martin. Martin up the right wing, got some open ice. Fiddling with Issa Perrick now, takes it all the way to the cage, and he's finally forced away by Adam Fleming. Fleming's played some great shifts in this game. He's been he's been very present on the offensive end, been very present on the defensive end. Offside warning against Bemidji, so Karodiak will be able to hold on easy. Lead pass up. Emanen plays soccer with it, kicks it up to himself. Martin's pass is intercepted. Quinn is knocked down to the ice. No penalty, as they wanted one there on a tug on Quinn, who was kind of pulled by his shoulder down to the ice. Not too much there. Bemidji wanted a penalty. Maybe a make-up call for the call earlier against the Falcons that resulted in a power play goal.
Maybe kind of sold it too a little bit. He was dragged down, but I think he...
Good pass across. Shot. What a save by Cole Moore, who stepped up into that. Great shot by Jackson Judding on the left wing, and an even better pass by Eric Martin, who took it down the left. We'll get a whistle and a stoppage in our media timeout with 6:36 left to play in the second period. 2-2, Bowling Green and Bemidji State. We wished for scoring, and we got it. 4 goals from the two squads in the second period. Bowling Green will look to get another and tilt the ice their way before we head into the third. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Women's basketball welcomes Toledo into the Stroh Center for the Battle of I-75 on Saturday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Caden Knapp will have the call at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
6:36 left to play in the second period here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Ben Korak here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter/X for recaps, updates, BGSU athletics news, and the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel for rebroadcasts, highlight packages, and other video content, as well as posts of our Zig Zone show that happens at 4 p.m. every Sunday on WBGU 88.1 FM, and the posts of our Swoop, which is the video sports show hosted by Chaz McNeil. That gets posted every Tuesday with a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network figures.
Mr. Swoop, as we like to call him.
Yeah, we do. He's in the board operator room, I believe. Crossing past, stepping in there is Casper Magnuson. Also, a special thank you to Chaz and Jack, who are in the board operating room, running the board for us today, for the reason we're on the air. And special thanks to Rick Crow for sponsoring our travel, and he's the reason we're here in Bemidji, and the reason that, indirectly, the reason that Jack and Chaz are in the board operating room right now.
Did we get a mile count of how far we are from Bowling Green? See where they are in Bowling Green?
We should get a mileage the next stoppage of play. We'll figure out a mileage and a drive time. I believe it was somewhere in the realm of 12 hours from Bowling Green to. We didn't drive. We flew, but
did have a little bit of a drive.
Yeah,
about a 3.5 hour drive.
3.5 hour drive from St. Paul. Not too bad.
Able to see the state a little bit of Minnesota. Beautiful state. A lot of lakes. Specifically frozen today, but
we'll go walk on one tomorrow, hopefully. Mitch Wolf with the shot in, deflected. Riley Funk off of his calf, and he takes it away out the right wing. He lost a step after wearing that puck. Now Eric Martin, he's played some great shifts. Another shot in. Cole Moore with the stop. He's played better in this game than he did against the United States U18 National Development Team. He gave up 4 goals in 2 periods, and Sally Vola came in for him in the 3rd period. The game didn't mean too much. It was exhibition. It's cool to see him play against some of the best talent the United States has to offer. A lot of them going to U of M, Minnesota, North Dakota, Denver, Colorado College, Notre Dame. I know you're a big Notre Dame guy, Sean. Some pretty good universities in the college hockey realm.
Yeah, there was a game a few years ago. They did the exact same thing. I was actually board operating that game. I think it was my first board op, and they played the U.S. development team. And it was just cool to see how many guys are committed to these schools across the country and seeing kind of their start at the college level.
Trey Augustine, current star goaltender for Michigan State, was on that team. Ryan Leonard and Gabe Peralt, stars for Boston College and leading goals and assist scorers in the NCAA, were on that team. And Will Smith, who's currently an NHLer for the San Jose Sharks, was also on that team. All 19 years old right now. Such successful players that Bowling Green lost 6-3 against 2 years ago. Whistle and a stoppage. It'll exit outside of the offensive zone for Bemidji and back into their own. We've had a lot of icings in this game, a lot of lead passes for Bemidji that haven't been able to connect. BG not so much. I think they've been a lot cleaner with their passes. 4:18 left to play in the second. 2-2, Bowling Green, Bemidji. Most recent goal, Ben Duran's on the power play, assisted by Ryan O'Hara and Dalton Norris. Clutch time for that. It's still a minute and a half of power play after that, but Bowling Green not able to convert against a pretty good penalty kill for Bemidji, just under 800. Panzer with the knock-up. Norris in his own zone. He's got O'Hara wide on the left wing, playing defense as the guy was getting a shift for the Falcons. Brody Waters with another shift. He's back out to pretty full shifts after he was taken off the ice with injury, being assessed for a second. He probably just wore a big hit and got the wind knocked out of him or something to that effect. He was doubled over for a while, though.
Need to maybe just get checked at, see exactly what was going on, but yeah. thankfully he was okay. Of course, the training staff here is always appreciated at any level of hockey in any sport.
Niedermeyer pass over into the slot is a little bit shallow of it. There'll be a streak back down for Bemidji State. They're going to be the first one there, and they're going to wave off the icing. McLean back around to Jopi. Jopi out, slap shot. Tony Fulmer was there. Taken away by Jopi again. Another shot chipped high into the netting. That would have been a souvenir if the string wasn't there. 3 minutes left to play in the second. Still 2-2 score.
Crazy, there was a time where the netting just wasn't there at any level.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously that's where all the shots are going to be, near the net. If you weren't looking, you know, on your phone.
It makes a lot more sense in hockey to have net around. Baseball, it kind of angers me a little bit.
Yeah,
I miss the days where you could sit on the first and third baseline and get some balls.
The extension of it always bothered me a little bit. Obviously, behind the plate, you know, you're going to need that. But, you know, if you bought first base or third base line tickets, you know, all you need is a ground ball. You can just scoop it up. There's a souvenir for you.
You know, not to say that there's not accidents, but, you know, the people that get seriously injured are people that aren't paying attention.
Exactly. I mean, if you buy a ticket for admission, you know, you got to be paying attention.
I know.
You know, why do you just buy it to go on your phone or goof off a little bit?
It says on the back of your ticket, be aware of flying bats and pucks in this case, as we've seen a lot in the BGSU series. Oh, Passanen was just decked there on the receiving end of that check. Casper Magnuson put another hit on him as Passanen knocked him back down to the ice. And back around to Scholl behind his goaltender on the WCHA logo. Quinn, disc pass across to the left wing. Jackson Judding with the shot in. He's been a little bit absent in this third period. Norris giving a big shove. He is quite incensed with Jackson Judding, and he forces him down to the ice. No hand in the air yet for referee. I'm actually surprised that nothing's going on.
I am fairly shocked that they didn't call anything, considering that was well after the whistle.
Norris was really giving it
down. Yeah,
he was really giving it to Judding behind there.
Don't know if there was maybe a chirp he didn't like or what, but that was well after the whistle blew, and like I said, I'm surprised there wasn't a hand up. But
makes me think that there was something that he did before Norris retaliated to kind of even it out. Norris also an alternate captain. He's a smart player. He wouldn't just go at somebody like that unless there was a reason. Scardina in the wheel with Riley Funk. Funk loses the face-off to Scardina. Taking it in the zone are the Falcons. Waters behind. He puts a hit on. Nice to see him back to full strength as he's promptly pinned up by Tony Fulmer behind the goal. Now Norris dumps it back in. The Falcons will chase. It's O'Hara back out to the blue line and Norris. Norris has got some open ice. His shot in, kicked high in the air and behind the goal. Everybody lost track of it. Finally, the defenseman will dump it back down the ice. Norris will have to outskate Eric Martin. And it's going to be an icing against Bemidji as Norris is the first one there. Kind of lucky Martin blew a tire.
Yeah, yet another icing there for Bemidji, so Bowling Green's going to get the face-off in prime position with just under 2 minutes to go. 2-minute warning here in the second period. Very eventful second period.
4 goals scored. Noah Quinn and Kirkland Irie, the 2 for Bemidji State, and the 2 for Bowling Green, both Ben Durans, both assisted by Ryan O'Hara, both assisted by a defenseman, Parker on the first, Norris on the second.
Again, Ryan O'Hara helping me out with pick the stick. That's a full point, am I correct there?
Full point, yeah. Unfortunately, Ben Duran is sitting at 2 right now, and Cole Moore is sitting at 1. So right now, Lucas Kleinmeyer is in the lead with 2 points for Ben Duran. You and Tyler are tied with 1, although Tyler is not going to gain anymore, so he's eliminated from the win today.
He's on thin ice as of right now. Of course, we want Coolmore to not allow any more goals, but
with the puck now at the point, Brett Foe feeds it down to Wozni. Wozni at the left wing. He's way down at the goal line. The Falcons have a propensity to do that every once in a while. Crossing pass out to the slot, taken away by Bemidji, who jumped all over that puck as soon as it got wide open. Riley Funk with the puck now at the left wing, looking for a pass down behind the goal line. Backhands it into Cole Moore, who shrugs it off with the shoulder. Corcoran guarding the blue line. It'll clear out to the Falcons and Corcoran. Zlinko will dump it back in, and he'll head off. Zlinko's a guy that's Didn't play too much earlier in the season, was on and off of the lineup, has been far more on than off as of the second half. This is his 20th game played of the season in his freshman campaign. Pretty quiet couple of shifts in this game, was pretty present in the first, not too much in the second. Emerson with a little bit of a 3-on-2. Now Bemidji State steps up. He's down at the goal line, trying to wrap it around. Oh, good wrap by Quinn Emerson, but nobody was there to fill it on the back end for Bowling Green. Now a 3-on-2 for Bemidji. Out to Jopi. Jopi, the pass is behind him, and he has to stay behind the blue line. Offside warning against Bemidji. They'll all get on sides, and now the Falcons can possess freely with 20 seconds left to play.
Yeah, those wraparounds are always just, for an opposing team, just scary because, you never know where the puck can go. Those sticks obviously curve as much as they can. They could really get into that goal.
Tic-tac passing by the Falcons. Scardina to Fighton. Fighton gets it in the zone. Scardina goes for a hit with Norris on the right wing half wall. And you hear the horn there. And time will expire. A couple of pleasantries being exchanged after the play. But a 2-2 tie after the second period. Pretty much the same outcome that we had after the first, except we got to see 4 goals scored instead of none after the first period. We'll unpack it in the Mardi Gras second intermission report. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Women's basketball battles the Ohio Bobcats at the Stroh Center on Wednesday, February 26th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Caden Knapp at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Soon after humans began to walk upright, they invented folk music, and folk music was the only music, and it was good. Then came civilization and rival musical genres arose. Gregorian chant, classical music, jazz, rock and roll. And there was cacophony, but folk music survived, and when the economy and technology collapse and civilization devolves into barbarism, these upstart genres will fall away and folk music will rise again to its natural dominance. You can prepare yourself now for that inevitable future by tuning in to the Folk Music Show Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
On February 11th, 2025, BGSU senior forward Marcus Johnson nailed an improbable corner three-pointer at the buzzer to give Bowling Green a lead over the Ohio Bobcats going into halftime. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call on Falcon Radio.
Thomas looking for someone to inbound it to. Gets it to Johnson. Corner three, fading away to baseline. Marcus Johnson nails it. Bowling Green goes into half with the 2-point advantage, 34-32 on the miracle shot by Johnson.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hello, this is Josh Aronson on BGSU Men's Soccer, and these are my Falcon 4 teammates that I'd bring on a cross-country road trip. First, I'll say Trace Terry, because he's the Ox man, you know, good vibes, good music, whole time cross-country. Beto, because I've lived with him for 3 years, so I know he won't annoy me, and I know he'll be prepared for the trip too. B-Game, he'd plan a good trip, so that's probably why B-Game. And then the last one would be Jake Lane, you know, because energy the whole trip, you know, that'd be good for the vibes too.
Did you hear that, kids? You too can join the International Humanist Conspiracy. All you have to do is listen to the World Music Show.
দেশের নয় শুনুন পৃথিবীর গান.
That's right, music from everywhere but here, Sundays starting at 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
On January 31st, 2025, BGSU senior forward Jackson Niedermeyer scored a game-winning goal in overtime on the road against Northern Michigan, notching BG 2 points and securing Niedermeyer's first multi-point game as a Falcon. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Larson with the shot, taken away by Bowling Green. This is Jackson Niedermeyer, takes it up the right wing, looking for a pass, now looking for a shot, he scores! Jackson Niedermeyer, the overtime winner with a buck left in overtime. And Bowling Green takes the much-needed extra point. What a wrist shot.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Second intermission report. Ben Korak here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Rick Rowe has sponsored our Falcon hockey travel this season. That's the reason we are here broadcasting this game to you on WBGU 88.1 FM. Decided to sponsor the second intermission with his wife's name, Marta Crow. The late Marta Crow, a longtime BGSU hockey fan, listener of WBGU 88.1 FM. Have only heard good things about Marta Crow, and glad we can sponsor the second intermission with her name. It was a good second period for Bowling Green and Bemidji State. The first period, I think, Sean, we might have been a little bit annoyed that there wasn't a whole lot going on. It didn't seem like either team could really get a lot going, but they really got it going in the second. First goal by Bemidji State, Noah Quinn. Ben Duran won even strength a couple of minutes later. Then a couple of minutes later, Kirkland Irie for Bemidji State, and then a couple of penalties for Bemidji kind of put them in a hole, and Ben Duran scored his second goal of the night on a power play and tied the game up at 2, and that's how we head into the third period. What did you see from that second period, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to it a little bit. We were not, a little annoyed with how, the first period kind of went. I mean, obviously you want all the goals you can get, but yeah, I mean, we saw 4 total goals, 2 by Duran on the Bowling Green side of things, and just a very, very high-intensity second period that I think we both kind of wanted and we got. So I'm really excited for this third period, very similar to what we saw towards the end of the games back at BG. Just this high-intensity tie game, what's going to happen next type of thing. But, back at Bowling Green, Bemidji State was playing from behind. They were able to kind of catch up. They were obviously able to take that last game. But, I'm looking forward to this third period. It's going to be a fun one.
Bemidji has played in a decent amount of tight games this season, but a lot of them have been forced into overtime. They haven't really got a upper hand on a lot of them, which is good that you guarantee to take points, especially late in the season, but you really want to get as many points as you possibly can and try and hold on to that third seed in the CCHA and hold on to that home playoff for sure after the happenings that have happened around the CCHA today, which we'll go over in a few minutes. The shot on goal battle has been evened up quite a large margin, 15 for Bowling Green, 14 for Bemidji State. They had the vast majority of shots on goal in that second period, and they were actually in the box more than the Falcons were. They really started to pull everything together offensively, and this is a very even match for, especially for a team that is second to last in the CCHA in Bemidji and third to the top in the CCHA in Bowling Green. They're a lot closer than I think a lot of people think, and that makes them very even. I think the difference to me has been the deep shot passes that have been a lot of icings for Bemidji State. They haven't been able to get off the ice as much, and they've been skating tired a lot of the second period. See how that plays out long term.
Yeah, and I also believe the last time these two teams faced, the magic number was 3 goals, and it seems like since we last time played, when Bemidji State does give up 3 goals and Scholl gives up 3, they've lost every single one of them. So if the Falcons can somehow get this next third goal, I think that'd be huge for the momentum and and the opportunity they can have to win the game.
Matthias Scholl, 13 saves, 2 goals allowed, and 867 save percentage. He's about at average for the season. Cole Moore with 12 saves and 2 goals allowed for an 857 save percentage. He's below average for the season in this game, but both goals scored against Cole Moore were very good setup plays by Bemidji. To be completely honest, Bemidji has scored on both of their really prime opportunities. Bowling Green has kind of manufactured theirs in other ways, but Bemidji has had some pretty good clean passing when they hold the puck in the offensive zone. I think Bowling Green's really got to get it and force that puck away from them and not allow them to set anything up, because it's been disastrous for them when Bemidji's able to get the puck clean.
Yeah, I mean, and like you mentioned, that the shots on goal have been very favorable for Bemidji State in that second period. And so, yeah, if they have the opportunity, I think they're going to capitalize. And yeah, so this is going to be, I think, a very fun third period. I'm looking forward to it.
2-2 in the Mardi Gras second intermission report. We'll talk about some CCHA happenings. All other games today are final in Sault Ste. Marie, Marquette, and Houghton, Michigan. All of them played an hour before this Bowling Green game started. It's the only game going on in Minnesota. Again, 2-2 Bowling Green and Bemidji State. Minnesota State did complete a 4-0 win over Lake Superior State. Brian Carabas with 2 goals. Josh Grohl with 2 goals. The bookends for a goal. The intermediates for Brian Carabas. That's going to be 3 points in the CCHA for Minnesota State, who is now, if I'm not mistaken, clinched the first seed. I could be wrong. I don't know the exact math there with the points percentage instead of just the plain points, but they're so far and away. I don't know that a lot of teams are going to be able to even get close to them. Augustana doesn't play any more games, so they can't improve any. St. Thomas has also completed an away win over Northern Michigan, 3-0. Grant Doctor, Matthew Gleason, and Lucas Wallen each scored goals. Malmquist with 2 assists. He breaks a point streak, with Lucas Wallen having a goal and an assist in that game. They win 3-1 and shut out Northern Michigan's Aaron Trotter, another shutout for him on the season. Alex Tracy for Minnesota State with a shutout. And then Michigan Tech's Manzella missed a shutout with allowing a goal to Jacob Badal, but they completed a pretty large win over Ferris State in Houghton at home. They got kind of smacked by Bemidji State at home in Houghton 2 weeks ago. This week they're trying to they're trying to avenge that with an Alex Nordstrom 3-goal performance. He did not have an assist to go along with it, but the hat trick, you don't need it. He had a true hat trick as well, shorthanded, a power play, and an even strength. I mean, what more can you do if you're Alex Nordstrom? Isaac Gordon also had 2 goals, 1 on a power play, 1 even strength. Maskos Kapirti with a goal and an assist as well for Michigan Tech, and they win 6-1 over Ferris State. So Bowling Green has to look at that game as well to make sure they hold on to their 3rd seed. Michigan Tech, with them completing a win, if Bowling Green doesn't win in regulation, they could possibly fall down to that 4th seed, and then they're really in risk of dropping out to St. Thomas or Lake Superior State.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before the broadcast. I mean, you got to get 3 points. You got to get at least 5 points, in my opinion, throughout the weekend. 4 is manageable at least, but if you want to at least get to that 2nd spot to where you would host potentially if you do win your first round. Obviously, you got to, like I said, win the first round, but you got to get as many points as you can, especially against a team like Bemidji State, where look at them at the standings. Yes, very talented team, but on paper you are a better team than them. So you got to capitalize and get as many points as you can get as we near the end of the season.
Bemidji State certainly plays up to competition. They're doing it today and are playing tied with Bowling Green through 2 periods of play. We'll head into the very important 3rd period and see if we go to the 3rd overtime game between Bowling Green and Bemidji State this season in a few moments. You just listened to the Mardi Gras second intermission report. You're going to listen to the 3rd period of BGSU hockey in a few. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
My name is Kyle Blasingame from BGSU Men's Soccer, and my Falcon 4 favorite hobbies are Kirby, which is a game created by BG Men's Soccer. My second favorite hobby would be Salute IIO. I recently bought a PC and I've been gaming it. My 3rd favorite hobby is playing golf with Kyle Cusimano. And my 4th favorite hobby is watching Game of Thrones with Brendan Graves.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
What's going on, guys? I'm Darius Lorfield's junior safety here at BG. My Falcon 4 favorite things for homecoming, definitely seeing some of the alumni, the big crowd, hearing them roar, the Falcon Walk pregame, getting to see more people, and then just winning the game overall and celebrating after. Go Falcons.
BGSU Volleyball's first-year head coach, Alex Del Piombo, has hired 2 assistant coaches to fill out her staff ahead of the 2025 season. Chelsea Carter comes to BG after a 3-season stint as an assistant coach at Alabama. Carter played under Del Piombo at Samford, winning 2 conference championships, a Libero of the Year award, and a conference tournament MVP. Since, she has coached 2 Libero of the Year award winners as well, making Alabama one of the best serving and digging teams in the SEC. Alexa Wharton comes to BG after being a 2-year head coach at Tiffin University. Her winning career includes 3 conference titles as a player and back-to-back conference championships, Final 8 NIVC appearance, and an overall winning record as a coach. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
BG and Bemidji sent out their A lineups again, their starting lineups, I should say. Bowling Green's Jackson Niedermeyer, Ethan Scardina, and Quinn Emerson. Dalton Norris and Gustav Stierenberg with Cole Moore in between the pipes. Now on the left side of your screen again. This one deflected in onto the doorstep again. Finally covered up by Matthias Scholl as he squats his way onto that one. 17 seconds expired. Quick shot and a chance for Bowling Green. And then Bemidji State starts their starting line of Jackson Panzer, Yuri Vizenen, and Adam Fleming, who have not scored yet in this game. Tony Fulmer and Issa Peric also have not scored yet in this game. And Matthias Scholl with his 2 goals allowed and his 15 saves. It's been about an average game for him. And as we mentioned in our Marta Crow second intermission report, that 3-goal mark is about the sweet spot. If BG can get 3 goals, they should be in pretty good shape.
And already a very prime opportunity. I'm already seeing a little more in-syncness to start the period than I am from the second period, so I already like that adjustment by Dennis Williams in the locker room.
Chip up the ice. Noah Quinn takes it down the right wing. Casper Magnuson, he had him in the slot, but couldn't get the pass over. He just decides to go depth instead of width. Now another pass out to Waters. It's left at the point. Bowling Green playing some pretty good defense there. It's Ben Duran who got his stick in there to force the puck away. Out to O'Hara. O'Hara flips it into center and Duran. And Duran does the same down the ice and lets Waters chase. Waters chases with Mitch Wolf. Wolf, a junior out of Andover, Minnesota. 2 goals, 6 assists this season for 8 total points. Has not scored against the Falcons this season. Minute expired in the third period. Still no score. Bowling Green with 2 shots on goal. Looks like they're really trying to make a statement out here early and set the tone. It was kind of ruined in that second period by that early penalty that they took that, to be honest, I didn't agree with. I think pretty confusing penalty. I'd want to see the replay again, but Quinn Emerson was put in the box for slashing. Foe with the puck on the right wing, turns it away from the goal line, back out to the point. Looking for a pass, now just shoots it in. Scholl rejects it. Grant could have got there first, but where's a big hit off of Corcoran as he lost his footing before he could take a step in. So unfortunate turn there for the Falcons as they turn the puck back over to Will Magnuson, the defenseman, instead of Casper Magnuson, the left winger. Riley Funk takes it up the right wing. He's been great against Bowling Green. 1 assist in the first series, 2 assists in this game on both goals scored by Bemidji. Wolf is pressed up the right wing. He gets stood up by Max Martin, who's there on the left wing. Tries to peel it off the boards. Magnuson does, around to McCauley. A.J. McCauley, an Alberta native. Again, not a high-scoring defenseman, only 2 assists this season. On the third line with Mitch Wolf. Only 10 total points scored between those two players, as opposed to 24 scored by the second line of defensemen and 10 as well scored by the first line. It's more defensive for sure. Starting lineup as well. Sternberg the dump back down, rings it around. Lawson is a step late on it. Mitch Wolf gets it there and out to Kirkland Irie down the right wing. Good pass up, lead pass to Ethan Scardina, who's got some open ice, but it's down to the other wing boards. He gets some open ice, but takes it back toward the blue line. Now pass it in there, shot in, is high. Niedermeyer looks to knock it down. Might have been a high sticking, so it could have been waved off. Down to the ice, still left in. On the other side is Scardina. It's a successful shift for him as he's caused some havoc. And Paston will chase this one back down with Panzer scaling in after him. Cole Moore looking out of his left, now looking out of his right. Good pass to Emerson. Down the right wing. Duran now taking it over toward the left wing. Emerson puts a hit on. O'Hara was streaking on the back door. Emerson takes it away, playing with the first line instead of Brody Waters. Passing into Wozni, the defenseman. Now Jackson Panzer out to the right wing. Knocked down to the ice is Flameng, and it's going to be a penalty against Wozni. Wozni gives a check there, and he's going to get 2, I think. We're going to get, we could get 2 penalties assessed on this play. Wozny's going to go off for cross-checking. We're going to see if we're going to get another Falcon as well.
Doesn't appear like it. I believe it'll only be 2 minutes.
Looks like he had the hand up before the cross-checking happened.
I mean, he knew he was going to the box, and then he kind of just really cemented it after the whistle blew. Kind of gave him a shove after.
A Beaver really giving it to him in the box. A Beaver fan, I should say. But the Bowling Green goes on the penalty kill. They're 0 for 1 on the penalty kill. Bemidji State has converted on their only power play of the game.
So now you got 2 minutes to kill here. Fans wanted 4.
Sternberg flips this one up. To be honest, probably could have been 4. An interference
Easily
first and then a cross-checking second. But a break for Bowling Green as they only take the 1 penalty.
I agree. Really, any hit you lay after the whistle, especially a few seconds after the fact, you're probably going to get assessed with that. So, I think Norris, along with Wozni, kind of playing with fire a little bit when it comes to after the whistle.
2-2, Bemidji State Bowling Green. 4 minutes expired here in the third period. 30 seconds expired in the power play for Bemidji. Corcoran leaves this one back. A harsh forecheck by Jaden Grant, who's been a penalty kill staple the last couple of series. Ever since that Bemidji State series, I would say he's really taken a step forward in the lineup. Willie's been liking the way Grant has been playing. Iced back down by the Falcons again. They get a new shift. Scardina and Fighton out there is the best penalty killing forwards in my opinion. Norris and Sternberg as well. Sternberg will pick up Kirk and Irie streaking down the left wing, rings it around to Flameng. Flameng on the right wing, yet to score a point in this game. His line hasn't either of Yuri Vizinen and Jackson Panzer. It'll be iced down for Bowling Green again with 40 seconds left to play in the power play.
Bemidji still has yet to take a shot on this power play that they have.
BG with a takeaway. Jaden Grant through the zone. He's got a shorthanded breakaway. Backhand shot in. Matthias Scholl rejects it. Now taken the other way by Bemidji. They're going to get about a 3-on-3 rush here for a quick second, but they slow it down and wait for their guys to get on sides. Good defense by Passanen. Passanen will get back into the diamond formation now with Irie at the point. Now finally Bemidji settles it down with offensive hold. 10 seconds left to play in the power play. Now under, into the center. Fleming with a shot quick, and it's saved. Grant is off the ice now. It's far on three. Bowling Green comes out with the puck. Wozni out of the box as well. There's a glove and a stick out there on the ice. We're going to get a whistle and a high sticking, I think.
Fans wanted a too many men on the ice for Bowling Green.
No, it was a sloppy change, but they got off, I believe.
That's what it looked like for me. Of course, home fans want.
Oh, they did get it.
Oh, they did get it. Wow. So they killed off, in my opinion, a beautiful penalty kill. They really only allowed one shot, and that was really at the end there with about 5 seconds to go. But now they have another penalty to kill. Not what you want to start the period for Bowling Green.
Waters will head off, so he'll be out of the box in 2 minutes.
So fans wanted it, ended up getting it, so ask and you shall receive, I guess.
I thought it was a sloppy change. I didn't think it was too many men on the ice worthy. I mean, six guys were not within range of playing the puck.
They assessed that to Bemidji State, and I think it was a very similar change. So I guess, if they're going to call it for Bemidji, you got to call it for Bowling Green too. So unfortunately, you got to go back onto the penalty kill, but had a very, very good penalty kill.
Irie centering pass. Now Jackson Judding with the same. Drop down to the ice is the Falcon defender. Now behind the goal line and back out to the blue line as Bemidji State holds possession. Perrick out to the right wing. Another shot in is blocked by a Falcon. Now to Irie to the blue line at Fleming. Fleming with a shot in. Again saved by Cole Moore as Bemidji State's rapidly chasing Bowling Green in shots on goal. Another shot in and a score! 3-2. Bemidji State leads on a Jackson Judding goal. His first goal against Bowling Green this season. His 10th goal of the season. And they take a 3-2 lead on the too many men on the ice penalty by Bowling Green.
Yeah, it seemed like Sternberg was out of position there. He laid a hit on a Bemidji State defender, and it allowed Judding to have a wide open shot, and it allowed him to score the goal. So I think Sternberg was just out of position on that play. Unfortunately, a costly one.
Outside of the zone, dumped back in by Bemidji State. A bad break for the Falcons as they had a lot of momentum starting the period and then took that penalty.
I mean, you kill off the first penalty, in my opinion, beautifully, and then you allow another one. And too many men on the ice are always sloppy penalties. You practice that almost every day in practice. Those really shouldn't be penalties by a well-coached team. So unfortunate events, and then, of course, they ended up capitalizing on their second power play of the period.
Issa Perrick and Casper Magnuson, the two assists on the Jackson Judding goal at the 6:13 mark in the third period. The first goal scored in the third period. Back down again. Bowling Green with the puck in the offensive zone. Duran takes it out the right side. Slap shot in by Bowling Green. Missed the goal left. That was Ben Wozni that took a step in. Not an offensive defenseman. Not the greatest shot in the world, but he was open and he took a clapper. It was close. Waters the lead pass up to O'Hara, trying to break open the ice. Bowling Green playing from behind now, 3-2 Bemidji. 12:20 left to play in the third period. Through the middle, out to Riley Funk on the left wing. McKinley will chase it down. Low angle shot across the crease. Cole Moore lets it go. Now in the middle again, Riley Funk, shot wide right of the goal, and McKinley will take it away out to the left wing. Tic-tac into the center to Waters. Waters pushes it up to Scardina, a little bit ahead of him, takes a move toward the inside. Good move by Scardina. Low angle shot is blocked by Corcoran, who gets in there with Scardina, gives him a shoulder, and it's pinned up against the boards behind Matthias Scholl. Sternberg takes a step in, keeps the puck in with Dante Lawson out there. The third line of Lawson, McLean, and Jopi, more defensively minded. Not the greatest line, certainly the fourth best line on the ice. Norris up to Emerson. The pass is a little bit long. Bowling Green had the extra man.
Nearly intercepted there.
is nearly taken right back by Emerson. Back into the defensive zone. BG has the puck. Good sign that Bowling Green has possession of it, or has held possession of it. The momentum doesn't seem to have swung too much, aside from the score. Sternberg goes for a body. Norris in for a body as well. McLean still battling for it on the boards. Comes away with the puck, still being bullied. Out to the brown jersey. Niedermeyer takes a step to the inside. He's the first one there. Low angle shot. That one just missed, and it'll be up into the netting. And a face-off in the offensive zone for Bowling Green.
Nice shot by Niedermeyer right there. Had the angle, unfortunately just couldn't bury it. And then it allows you to have a face-off in Bemidji State's area. I mean, you got 10 minutes, 58 seconds to go to try and tie this thing up.
Emanen in the dot. He's the best face-off winner for Bowling Green on the day. 5-1 wins to losses. He does win the face-off, but BG promptly turns it back over. Parker will have to recap this one. Jutting back in the zones, barely stays on sides. Taking it all the way in is Perrick. Gloves, drops down, out to Fulmer. Fulmer to his line mate. Perrick down. Another shot across the crease. Slashing in was the Bemidji State player, but it didn't connect on the pass because it was a little bit too hot. Zlinka and Foe with Emanen. Emanen goes off the ice. Zlinka and Foe do the same. New forwards for the Falcons. It's the first line that is probably going to get a lot of shifts as they're the highest offensive. Has scored both of the goals in this game, 2 of the 4 assists as well. Ben Duran with the only goal scored for Bowling Green. Around to Fleming. Fleming with the puck. BG still trying to hold offensive possession. They're the first back to play it defensively. This one off of a Bemidji State stick, off of the high glass, and out to center. O'Hara down the near side. Open ice. Puts the brakes on. Looks for a pass in the slot. In front. And Scholl covers it up with Duran to put a shove on. Some pushing there at the end of the play. Duran brings Riley Funk down to the ice. Nothing's going to come of it. We'll get a face-off again to the left of Matthias Scholl. 9:50 left to play in the third period. The media timeout with a 3-2 Bemidji State lead. BG needs a comeback and under 10 minutes to do it. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On November 15th, 2024, BGSU Hockey defeated St. Thomas in a shootout, courtesy of a game winner by defenseman Jack Blake. Falcon Media Sports Network's voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak, had the call of the moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And Jack Blake, for all the glory, trying to put this one away with the puck, taking it around, far side wheel, working in with the shot, and he fills it! Jack Blake with the shootout winner! First time in the lineup this season, and Jack Blake is the hero as Bowling Green mobs him.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
3-2 Bemidji on top after the most recent goal on the power play by Jackson Jutting. They are 2 for 2 on the power play today against Bowling Green, although the penalty kill for the Falcons has still been pretty good. I'm sorry, they're 2 for 3 on the power play against Bowling Green. Penalty kill has been pretty good for the Falcons, but the only 2 penalties that I feel like they really deserve are in the third period, and one of them was kind of a cheap one and an unfortunate one to take that put them down. Ben Korak here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Sean, what do you want to see in the last 10 minutes from Bowling Green to be able to get a goal on the board?
Yeah, if you can replicate what you did in that first, I would say 12 minutes of that first period where all the offense was on your side, where you were putting the ones on the shot. I mean, it was a 7-1 shot differential to start the game. If you can just try to get that, obviously you're going to end up pulling the goalie if it is still a one-score game. You know, you're going to have that extra defender. So if you can just replicate and try to just have all the offense on your end, you know, that's what I would like to see.
O'Hara, good stick work down to the goal line. He loses it. Now he still has it at the left wing and out to the point. Turns it back around. Pass across to Emerson. Emerson had his stick open, but not ready to put a shot on. Not the quickest shot in the world either by Quinn Emerson. A good release, but Quickness is not what he's known for. Flip up the ice. Bemidji will go for a change. They're going for a lot of quick changes now, playing 2 men back at all times. 9 minutes left to play in the period. 3-2. Scardina down the right wing, now into center. He's being held onto a little bit. Scholl plays the puck. Another shot. Still in front. Emerson gives a slash. Now to Parker. Parker to Scardina. Scardina, we're going to get a whistle. We'll see what the call is.
I didn't think it was offsides. I mean, that was clearly in the zone.
Didn't look offsides.
That one was right in front of us.
It's got to be what they called.
Maybe it was, the one angle we can't see where the puck went out, but that didn't look like offsides to me. Nonetheless, there's going to be a face-off here.
It wasn't necessarily a prime opportunity for Bowling Green either. It's just whistled the play dead. 8:40 left to play in the third. Parker around. Scholl will stop it behind next to the WCHA logo for the women's team here in the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Chip up the ice. Riley Funk. A slap from Passanen. The centering pass taken away by Bowling Green. They have a 4-on-3 the other way if they get the numbers. Now it's a 3-on-3 as the Falcon went for the bench. Zlinka's there. Foes streaking in toward the slot. Out to the blue line. Wozni with a shot in. Blocked by Eric Martin as he's worse for that after the play, but he stopped it from getting to his goaltender, Matthias Scholl, who's closing in on a .900 save percentage with 17 goals, or 17 assists, saves, I should say. Man, things are tough. Scholl covers this one up in front as his chance from the Falcons, fighting in there, battling. 18 saves now for Matthias Scholl. 2 goals allowed and a .905 save percentage.
These two teams, I mean, the chippiness has rose since that first period. I mean, I think those penalties really have gotten these teams to really not like each other. And I'm just, not looking ahead to tomorrow, but I think tomorrow, Saturday always in those 2-game series on the Friday, Saturday, always was more chippiness, and you get the more after the whistle, ruffles. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
O'Hara wins the faceoff. Duran back down to O'Hara at the red line, even with the goal. McKinley takes a step in, plays the puck. He's open. Held on to a little bit there by Perrick. Now back is O'Hara. O'Hara looks to center it. Still getting bumped up by the defenseman of Bemidji State. Yuri Väisänen out. Waters intercepts the puck. Still looking for a brown jersey. Bowling Green's going for a lot of one-on-ones right now in stick handling. Crossing pass. Wozni with a shot. Deflected away from the goal.
Another great opportunity there for Bowling Green. Had an open shot. Unfortunately, just couldn't bury it.
Wozni to the left wing. Shot in. Deflected down. Off of the elbow, it looked like, of Ryan O'Hara. All right, Brody Waters now forced away from the puck. McKinley will have to chase this back down. Jackson Panzer be the first one back. The Bowling Green player will get in there as well as Bemidji was going for a change. Judding gets it away. A.J. McCauley wings it across the ice. Shot in by Bowling Green. It's in front, taken away by the Falcons. Emanen is there, and he skates it behind his own goal. 6:50 left to play in the third period. BG trails by 1. They need to at least take a point in this with the Michigan Tech win. They need to hold on to that third seed in the CCHA and the home playoff. Sternberg and Norris guarding the blue line. 3 forwards in for Bowling Green. They look to get it out to the blue line and spread the ice a little bit more as it's very compact. Shot in. Norris is there on the left wing. Hasn't taken a lot of shots later in the year. Took a lot early, but not a lot landed, and he's elected to pass more than he's shot. Has his 13th assist of the season today to go along with his 2 goals. Martin goes for a check. Puck is away. Slap is up. Wings over to Sternberg. Sternberg shot in. Saved by Scholl. He'll hold on with 6 minutes exactly left to play in the third period and a 3-2 Bemidji State lead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Bemidji State's playing more safe. They want to play more of the defense. So Bowling Green's having the opportunities as you asked me what I wanted, and I think they're delivering as far as I think. Now they just got to bury one. You got 6 minutes to go. With that pulling of the goalie, with about 3 minutes or less to go, I would say.
Scardina in the dot. 7 for 7 today on draws. Looks like he could have won that one. Niedermeyer blew a tire as he was going for the puck. He's got it. Centering pass. Oh, just got a stick on it was Riley Funk, and he takes the puck away as well. Niedermeyer still there, down to the goal line. Emerson with possession. Could get it back out to the defenseman. He does, but outside the blue line. Parker's there on the other side of the wing. Parker shot in, gloved by Scholl, and held onto with only 22 seconds expired since our last stoppage. BG with more shots on goal, 24-19. More total shots by, looks like 17. Face-off wins, they're actually down by 1 right now. Lately has not been great for them. Trailing in blocks. The same amount of penalty minutes as well, but some questionable calls, I'd say, against the Falcons today, although it's how it goes sometimes. Zlinko with the puck at the point, skates it back around, and now dumps it back down. Jaden Grant, his first shift in a while, is behind. He's fighting for it. Jackson Judding gets it around to another white jersey. Sternberg has to play the blue line and play back, and the Falcons turn it over. And neutral ice, it's going to be a high sticking against Bowling Green once they get a stick on it. And it's going to be Zlinko that settled that one down way out of the air.
I mean, already in this third period, Bowling Green's out shooting Bemidji State 9-5 on the shots on goal and 17-8 on just regular shots. So the opportunities are there for Bowling Green. They just got to bury one. See if they can tie this up and, like you said, at least get a point.
Every point matters. Yuri Vaisanen and the dot with Ben Duran. Won by Ben Duran cleanly. Flip up the ice, taken away by Bowling Green. Ben Duran now to the right wing and O'Hara. O'Hara shot in across. Duran forces the defender into the blue paint. They're really going at it. Duran's going to get assessed for a penalty here. I don't know that one should have been either. Now gives another one that it's getting chippy.
After the whistle, kind of looked at one of the Bemidji State defenders and gave him a bit of a shove. And yeah, I mean, that just, with 4:58 to go, you really can't do that. I mean, he's the guy who's gotten both the goals for you today. I would say that's again, I don't know if you agree with the call or not, but especially that one after the whistle. Cross-checking is assessed, 2 minutes. So, I mean, again.
It's been getting physical all game in front of the blue paint. See it right there.
Yeah, I think it looked like he was already on the ground. I don't know if that was caused all the way by Duran, but.
I think it was sold a little bit.
But yeah, I was going to say maybe it was sold a little bit by Bemidji State, but, it seems like the refs are favoring that.
Looks like the freshman sold it. Tom Saratori from Bemidji State is arguing with the referee maybe about a flagrant against that. I don't think there should be. I mean, looking at the replay right there, I don't feel like that was, if it's a penalty, it's certainly not flagrant in my eyes. Although the officiating has not been exemplary today. And it looks like they're going to challenge it. Challenge for a major. We'll take a step back for a minute while they sort this out. 5 minutes left to play in the third. 2-minute penalty right now assessed to Bowling Green's Ben Duran. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Softball opens Norman tournament action against Wichita State on Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Coyle Withrow will have a recap of the game on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
back here in the Sanford Center. Referee's still looking at the play by Ben Duran on the blue paint. That was called for a penalty, and he was given 2 minutes. Now, whether or not you think it's 2 minutes is up to your opinion. I really don't think it should be assessed as a major based on what we saw on the replay. We only saw it once. They didn't show it again. I don't know. What did you see, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before the break that, it seemed like the freshmen sold it a little bit, but, that's part of the game, in my opinion, especially today where the refs are, favoring the penalties, maybe not necessarily the ones, not going Bowling Green's way, but, it's tough to call considering, I didn't think it was already a penalty, so I'm not going to be surprised if they call it a flagrant.
The way the officiating's been today, you couldn't be surprised. Could also be a strategic challenge by Bemidji State as well, considering you're not thinking you're going to use your timeout, and a 5-minute major would put you the rest of the game with a man advantage. Here's the call from the referee. Oh my gosh. Unreal.
So 5 minutes for Duran again. I mean, penalty or not, that's just worst case scenario for Bowling Green, as there's just under 5 minutes. You're going to be in the box for the rest of the game. So that's unfortunate events because, the power play is going to be on for Bemidji State. You got to think about pulling the goalie, and that's essentially almost a free goal when you do have that scenario play out. And again, you really need these points if you're Bowling Green.
4 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in the third. 5-minute major to Ben Duran, who has both goals scored in this game. So his performance is going to be under a microscope, and what you're going to think of it.
Yeah, that takes out your goal scorer for Bowling Green. I mean, no one else has been able to bury the puck in the back of the net. So
Bemidji State doesn't really have to pull the goalie. They just pretty much should keep 2 men back at all time, I would say, and make sure they don't commit a penalty of their own. BG's really just got to try and draw them into something.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you can get about a minute 30, maybe 2 minutes if you're Bowling Green with the goalie pulled, I mean, you got to do it. You're down 1. Unfortunately, it's just going to even it out. See if you can get a couple shots on goal. See if you can get one in.
Barrick with the pass in, BG with the puck. They're probably going to avoid icing it as much as possible, especially when it gets later in the game and in the power play, just to get as many offensive chances as they can.
A broken stick by Bemidji.
Lead pass up to Scardina. Scardina takes it up the ice, holds onto it, down to the goal line. He'll try to hold possession as long as he can, but it's forced away by Perrick. Now Bemidji gets it down the right wing. Shot in wide of Cole Moore. He lets it go. Irie is forced down to the ice. BG will ice it down. Forecheck by Niedermeyer. Bemidji State will take their time. Again, they don't necessarily have to score. It would be nice to score for them. But all they need to do is hold off the Falcons, who are going to be able to generate very little offense, considering them being down. Niedermeyer will head off, let the puck go. To the left wing, Riley Funk. Funk dumps it in, now chases it down the left wing, bumps into the referee. Parker's there, and he wings it deep up the ice to Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara will take it in the zone. Now it's slapped outside the zone. Eric Martin will get it back into the defensive zone of Bemidji, and they'll take a second here. 3:30 left to play in the third period, and probably in the game. All of it's going to be played with a man disadvantage for Bowling Green on a power play. And even if they score a goal, it's going to stay that way no matter what. Ben Duran put in the box for a 5-minute major. Bemidji takes it outside the zone willingly there as the Falcons skate off for a change. Seth Fighton on a mild forecheck. Scardina back on the ice now. On the left wing boards for Bemidji. Clears over into center, into the slot, gloved and dropped. It's Scardina on the right wing. Pass over into center, McKinley. Scardina has to stay on sides. McKinley will chase this one back down into the zone. BG's got to generate some offense, even though it's a man advantage. They turn it over now with puck possession. Eamon back around. 2-man change for the Falcons. Passing in, lead pass up. Niedermeyer gets a stick on it. It's not going to be an icing. Irie wears a check. Perrick dumps it back around. Eamon is out there as well. Flamang takes it down the left wing. 2:28 left to play in the game. BG down by 1, 3-2. Bemidji State leads a power play for the rest of the game for the Beavers.
I don't think Bemidji State has even really had a shot on goal for that 3 minutes that they've been on the power play so far.
Again,
not that they've needed
really
to,
don't
but
need it. Yeah.
They just really have done a great job of just maintaining the puck, not giving Bowling Green any opportunity to at least shoot the puck on the goaltender. So
Barrick behind the goal. Now it's a turnover to the Falcons, and it'll be iced down by Emanen. Willie's not too happy about that, but he'll get a change and get the guys off. $1:50 left to play, so under 2 minutes left to play in the third period. One more second on the power play than there is time left on the clock, so there is no way we're going to have any chance, even strength for Bowling Green. They played pretty good defense on this penalty kill so far. That or Bemidji has just not tried to score any offense.
A minute and a half, and again, do you think about pulling the goalie if you're Willie to see if you can just get maybe a shot?
Oh,
there he goes.
Sternberg.
Oh, no,
Cole took a step. Cole Moore took a step out. But now he had to get back in. Bemidji turns it back over. So the Falcons are going to look to maintain possession even briefly to get him off. Minute 10 left to play in the game to get it back to even strength. Now Bowling Green with the puck, chips it up the ice. Martin gets a stick on it. It's way down the ice. Stopped by Scholl and a forecheck by Scardino.
Moore again wanted to go, but unfortunately there was just not the opportunity.
Bemidji State's not doing a great job of holding onto the puck. BG's turning it over pretty lively, but it's tough to do when there's such a strong advantage for them, an extra man on the ice. 42 seconds left to play. Down to the left wing, Jackson Judding will streak into the zone. Parker will force him down to the ice. A couple of fans wanted a penalty, but there was nothing there. BG with the puck, now to the right wing of McKinley.
There goes Moore.
He's got some open ice. Moore is off. Disc pass across
Moore
to McKinley, and Moore has to come back off.
BG Softball wraps up the Norman Tournament action against Tulsa on Sunday, February 23rd. Falcon Media Sports Network's Stephen Sholin will have a recap of the battle on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Northwest Ohio's community radio station is currently looking for music submissions from local and regional artists. As a local non-commercial radio station, WBGU celebrates local musicians and offers opportunities for independent artists to get their music out to the local community on 88.1 FM and worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Submit your materials now by snail mail or Facebook. Get your music on local radio with WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Welcome back into the Sanford Center in Bemidji, Minnesota. Bowling Green falls 3-2 to Bemidji State. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties for the last few minutes. Didn't miss a whole lot at the end of the game. It was just pretty much skated out by both sides in the last 15 seconds. Don't know how long you guys were off for, but the penalty for Ben Duran was a 5-minute major. And you had to serve it out with 4:58 left on the clock, pretty much meaning that the entire rest of the game was going to be served with a man disadvantage for Bowling Green. Played pretty well during it, but not good enough to get a goal, and they finally lost 3-2. Between the broadcast timing out on us, the officiating, which I don't think was absolutely stellar today. Bowling Green's play was fine. Nothing too much went right today, Sean Connolly.
Yeah, I mean, the loss against Bemidji State back at home, it was more of just, we kind of outplayed them, and it was unfortunate how it ended out in the shootout. But this game, it kind of felt like, we went on a lot of kicks where, we had a lot of offense, and then, they had a lot of offense, and they were able to score and capitalize on some of the penalties. And again, as you mentioned, some of the penalties, very questionable calls, but at the end of the day, you got to still respond by that. And they did do that on a few of the penalty kills. But unfortunately didn't do that on others. So, you can blame all the refs you want. However, I think Bowling Green didn't answer when they needed to answer, and I think that was a large part in the loss tonight. And again, that's a tough 3 points to lose. Again, you going into a 2-2 game, going into the third, maybe you just get 1 point. Worst case scenario, 1 point. Unfortunately, you come out with 0.
Yeah, the penalties, whether you view it as officiating, whether you view it as a personal problem, were truly a problem in this game. Bowling Green 1 for 3 on the power play, certainly respectable enough, but Bemidji State was 2 for 4 on the power play. The first one on the Quinn Emerson slashing penalty, and the other one that was scored on was the team penalty for too many men on the ice. That was ended up being the game-winning goal from Jackson Judding at the 6:13 mark in the third period. The only goal scored in the third period. All other 4 goals were scored in the second. Ben Duran had 2 of them, including that penalty at the end that ended up pretty much icing the game for Bowling Green. Noah Quinn and Kirkland Irie, the 2 goals for the two second period goals, I should say, for Bemidji State, assisted by Eric Martin. He had assists on both of them, and Riley Funk, he had assists on both of them as well. The second and third stars today. Jackson Judding, the first star with his power play game-winning goal. And again, it kind of stinks, Sean, that we really didn't get to see those last 5 minutes of hockey being played even strength the way that the two squads had played all game. It was pretty even. Bowling Green was dominating a little bit with puck possession in certain aspects of it, but it was just unfortunate that not only that they took the penalty, took the loss, but that we didn't get to see good solid play in those last 5 minutes that we probably would have, or we would have seen overtime especially.
Yeah, and I alluded to it a little bit where it's like, if you're going to call that penalty, all right, but to move it to a flagrant after a challenge, which, they did initiate the challenge, Bemidji State did, but, I don't really necessarily agree with the call because it did change the game. That's 2 minutes as opposed to, 3 minutes that you have on the advantage potentially. And, something to note, too, is, that's the third game this year that the game has been decided by 1 goal. So something that you did miss that when we were off the air a little bit was there was a lot of chippiness at the end of that when the horns sounded, game was over, and there was a lot of chippiness. Sternberg was in the middle of it, and so I'm really excited. I said it a little bit in the third period, but I'm pretty excited about the game tomorrow. It always seems like Saturday's more chippy than the night before, and we got a lot of chippiness tonight.
Certainly saw a lot of animosity between these two squads. Once again, a 3-2 win for Bemidji State in regulation. The first game this season against Bemidji State that has not gone to overtime. Noah Quinn, Kirkland Irie, Jackson Judding the goals. Ben Duran, the 2 goals for Bowling Green. Ryan O'Hara with 2 assists. Eric Parker and Dalton Norris with an assist apiece as well. Pick the stick. Cole Moore for Tyler Cavalis did not score any points. Ben Duran for Lucas Kleinmeyer scored 2 points in this game. He's going to get a win today. Ryan O'Hara had a pretty good game for you as well, Sean. He had 1 point. Brody Waters had 0 for myself. So Lucas Kleinmeyer is going to take the lead and pick the stick for the Falcon Media Sports Network with his win today with Ben Duran. Congratulations, Lucas, on success. Truly a successful pick. I mean, choosing a guy that scored 2 goals in a game can't really get much better than that unless you choose the goalie with a shutout. I mean, it's a pretty good performance by Lucas Kleinmeyer. Ben Korek here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Special thank you to Jack, who was our board op today. Thank you for, it was actually his first time board opping officially by himself. So, Jack, you did a great job. Thank you for working through some technical difficulties we had, getting us back out and giving up your night for BGSU hockey and for us. We thank you a lot for that. Lucas Kleinmeyer, Tyler Kavlitz, our exec board for the Falcon Media Sports Network, allowing us to be here in the great state of Minnesota. Carl Smith, who took care of a lot of the travel, not itinerary, but the logistics for us, as well as Rick Crow, who sponsored our travel, forwarded the resources for us to be going this far away from Bowling Green and to call Bowling Green hockey in Minnesota. You know, we are immensely thankful to Rick for sponsoring our travel this season, our final regular season away trip, and hopefully we won't have to. Hopefully BG will hold on to that home playoff, and we won't have to travel in the playoff. But we'll see how it goes, and we just thank you immensely for your generosity and support to us, Rick Crow. So our upcoming Falcon Media Sports Network broadcast, softball, or not broadcast, but our Falcon Media Sports Network events. Softball plays 5 games this weekend, 2 tomorrow on Saturday against Wichita State and Abilene Christian, 1 on Sunday against Tulsa. They play again on Monday against Tulsa, and they play against the 4-time four-peat national champion Oklahoma on ESPN Plus. We will not have broadcasts. All of those are being played in Norman, Oklahoma, in the Norman tournament, hosted by Oklahoma, but we will have a recap after all of those games are over. So check out bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter X for the recaps of those, and for our opinion piece that's going to be released, the weekend wind-up that's going to be released at around Monday or Tuesday every week about BGSU softball. Baseball completed a 5-2 win over USC Upstate today. They play Presbyterian tomorrow on Saturday, and USC Upstate again on Sunday. They're playing pretty well lately. Got a big upside for this BGSU baseball team, so we'll keep you updated on that as well. No broadcast those 2 games, but we will have recaps on bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. But we will have our first baseball broadcast of the season next week in Indianapolis, Bowling Green at Butler at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, February 25th. Tyler Kavlitz, Henry Costco on the call on this station, WBGU 88.1 FM. So tune in Tuesday at 3 p.m. to listen to BGSU baseball play their first game and the first Falcon Media Sports Network broadcast for baseball this season. Men's basketball as well is going to play next Tuesday, February 25th, against Eastern Michigan at 6:30 p.m. Artie Abrego, Foster Rostai on the call on Falcon Radio. Again, Tuesday the 25th at 6:30, pretty close in time, or actually right after the baseball game that's going to be played at 3. And then our next broadcast, Sean Connolly and I here in Bemidji, Minnesota, we're going to be on the call tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bowling Green versus Bemidji State. Need to take a win and at least take a sweep out of this one and set yourself up for a pretty good finish to the season and hopefully remain in that home playoff spot that they might have fallen below Michigan Tech after a regulation loss today and a Michigan Tech win. I don't know exactly what the standings are right now, but it's not looking too good for the Falcons, who just took a loss in a game that they played pretty well in. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow on WBGU 88.1 FM on this same station at 7 p.m. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Sean, any final thoughts tonight before we take our step back for the next 13 hours?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, really looking forward to the game tomorrow, and there's still a lot to play for. I mean, Bemidji State with a really big 3 points in my opinion. I know it's not point-based this year with Augustana not technically being a member, so it's percentage-wise with the wins. But yeah, I mean, they still got a big win that was much needed. Maybe climbing themselves up into that 7, maybe even 6 spot could boost them up there. But yeah, like I said, really excited for the game tomorrow, considering the stakes that were there tonight. And I know that both teams kind of got familiar with each other, considering this is their 3rd game played. All, like I said, decided by 1 score. First one in regulation, as you alluded to. But yeah, really looking forward to the game tomorrow because I think we're going to see some fireworks.
Bowling Green is sitting in 4th place in the CCHA behind Michigan Tech now, who is 15.015 percentage points higher than them in the standings. They're 1 point behind them in the rankings as well. St. Thomas, even if Bowling Green gets swept this weekend and St. Thomas wins again tomorrow and takes another 3 points, they cannot catch Bowling Green. So the Falcons are firmly in a home playoff right now, but it's going to mean that these next 3 games for the Falcons are must win to make sure that St. Thomas has no chance of coming into our spot in the CCHA. Bemidji State also rises from second to last in the CCHA to fighting for a home playoff spot. They are only 2 games away, depending on how things go with St. Thomas and Bowling Green in the coming games. Their game is going to be huge tomorrow as they're ahead of Lake Superior State and Ferris State right now. If they complete a win tomorrow, St. Thomas loses as well. It's a very it's a very hard battle between those squads for that 4th playoff spot, and we could see the team that's 8th in the CCHA climbing all the way up and possibly being 4th by the end of this. Hopefully not, because Bowling Green's in that spot right now, but that's what we could see. This is just how tight the CCHA is, Sean. It's a blast to watch, even though the outcome today wasn't that great.
Yeah, it's a fun conference. I mean, you got a lot of very classic teams. Obviously, Augustana just joining technically in, halfway partial member this year. But other than that, all the other teams have really been some primary teams in college hockey. Minnesota State obviously have been kind of that powerhouse in the CCHA for the past couple years. But yeah, it's a fun conference that you really can't match, and I'm just looking forward to it. There's nothing better than postseason hockey. You and I both know that, and that's just I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And obviously, got a game tomorrow, a series next week, and then after that, it's postseason, and you really can't miss out on that.
3 steps that you need to make toward postseason hockey. One of them's tomorrow at 7 p.m. on this same radio station. Ben Korak here with Sean Connolly from the Falcon Media Sports Network. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and you are listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com. On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
BGSU softball faces their toughest test of the season against 4-time defending national champion Oklahoma on Saturday, February 22nd at 4 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Coyle Withrow will have a recap on BGFalconMedia.com.
'cause I can't believe. Am I not